Wow, wow, wow. What's going on here?
These women aren't friends out for a run. They're actually undercover police officers taking to the streets in Surrey as part of a new operation trying to stop people catcalling and harassing female runners.
We get honked at, the staring, the hanging out of the window just to look at us, and it's so prevalent.
And police teams are ready to intervene the moment the officers are beeped at, followed or shouted at, pulling people over.
Those kind of behaviours may not be criminal offences in themselves, but they still need to be addressed. And of course, the people that are likely to commit those kind of behaviours, you know, they may then go on to commit more serious offences.
Is this real?
Like bioengineering. So Jeffrey Epstein, he was also obsessed with bioengineering. So he had all of these scientists that he would donate money to their charities, and he would have them work on things and stuff. But what I heard, and this is completely unsubstantiated, but I heard it and I thought it was fascinating, was that he also had these same guys, because they were disease specialists and everything like that. He had them design a novel coronavirus that was his kill switch. Basically, like, that was his trump card, which is like, I don't go to jail or I release this shit. And like, it's like one of these things where if I don't keep entering in a thing every 30 days, I die. In like October or November, his kill switch went off, and that's when the disease got introduced into the world until it became what we do today. I don't believe it.
I'm with you. I don't believe that for a second, but that's a goddamn great conspiracy theory.
I love it, and I'm going to spread it as much as I can. So Jeffrey...
Based. Fuck, I should restart this computer. That's what I'm gonna do. Okay, I'll be back 1 sec.
That the strict AB laws in some Republican-controlled states are leading to harm to women. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Yeah.
Do you prefer when night scenes are blue, like Lord of the Rings, or black, like Game of Thrones? The Game of Thrones lighting on that last episode was really bad. It had nothing to do with the color schemes. The coloring for the Lord of the Rings, though, it really just... I don't even like fantasy. I don't even like Lord of the Rings that much, but Lord of the Rings was just like a perfect trilogy. It just was. I don't know. I don't know what else you can... I don't know what else you can say about it. There's a really cute video that the Nerd Writer guy does, I think, on Helm's Deep. Just waiting for Tectone to respond to me.
The opening of the Helm's Deep battle scene in the Two Towers reminds me a lot of the opening scene from Sergio Leone's Once Upon a Time in the West. Both movies have classic scores, but both use silence and some spare Foley sound effects to set the stage. Silence is important because a battle, like a shootout, is all about contrast. Helm's Deep is full of contrasts. As a 39-minute sequence, it has to carry the dramatic weight, the ups and downs of a mini movie within a movie to hold our attention. In fact, since The Two Towers is essentially the middle of a larger story, Peter Jackson and his co-writers needed the Helm's Deep battle to be climactic enough to provide enough temporary closure that the film could stand on its own. In the end, it's that necessity which I think generated the best cinematic battle of the trilogy and one of the best movie battles of all time. You can break the Helm's Deep battle, or the Battle of the Hornburg as it's known in the books, into 24 beats. These beats provide a rough layout for the rhythm of the sequence. By the way, speaking of contrast, you can see, looking at it this way, that a large part of the battle is virtually monochromatic. The late great cinematographer Andrew Lesnie had the really difficult task of maintaining the feel of a night battle in the rain while making sure that the visuals were intelligible enough to the viewer. He does this by infusing the scene with a strong bluish backlight, ostensibly the moon, which draws out edges. And by keeping the color palette very limited, he ensures that shots aren't too busy for the eyes and brains of the audience. Intelligibility is really important for a giant set piece like this. Not only do you want the audience to be able to see what's happening, you want them to have a sense of how the fighting is developing for each side, which is why these 24 narrative beats are crucial. Each beat represents an action or development that carries an emotional cue, whether it's the feeling of anticipation at the start or the
long night. One episode. Oh God. My queen. I don't even remember any of this. I don't even remember the dragons at all. Wait, what happens to the two dragons? Do they both die? No, they can't because they conquer King's Landing later on. Wait, where does Dany go for this whole fight? Why is she gone? Two of them die and one flies away. Only Drogo... How does the other one die? What happens? No, not the Iron Fleet. I'm talking about in the long night battle here.
I don't know how to use it.
Sticking with the pointy end.
Oh, wait, that's right. One gets zombified in season 7, one gets sniped, and one survives. Wait, how are they both riding... Are they both on the same dragon here? This is before the snipe? The snipe happens after episode 3? How do they cram so much dog shit into this one season? Was season 8 really that bad? So they do the whole long night in one episode, a dragon dies, and then the whole conquering of King's Landing, and... Wait, how did so much horrible shit happen in this season? Oh my God. Jesus Christ. Okay. Sorry, I'm awake. Who did I ban before? The Piers Booker guy canceled on me again. I don't know why. Or he said they had to cancel the segment. I don't know if they just... I feel like they send out like a mass text to people and then they try to see who bites, and then if people don't, maybe they just cancel the segment. Since you watch all these movies, what TV do you have? I don't know, some big flat screen thing. Oh, I should get like a nice TV theater setup. That's like a thing to spend money on, right? What was the segment? I don't know. Something about some Jimmy Kimmel saying he'd leave America or something. I don't remember. Do you think it's media haram to watch movies and shows on your phone? I mean, I feel like it depends on what you're watching. For like sitcoms and stuff, or things like House, like I think that's fine. But like for more cinematic things, do you prefer Vyvanse or Adderall? Vyvanse and Adderall XR feel the exact same to me. I don't know. I haven't taken Adderall XR in a long time though. I was up till 6 a.m. last night, bro. Just had like the most Kino fucking crash out. I don't understand why this guy. This is, if you missed it last night, this is literally it. Are there like 5 British comedy actors? Wait, is he the guy? Wait, I just heard him talk. Wait, is that?
Yes, I have. No. Just a flesh wound.
He's the guy. John Cleese, yeah, he is. What the fuck? How is it that there are so few British actors, but they still have time to come infiltrate our film scene? What's going on here?
Yeah.
Wow, what's up, buddy?
Hold on, let me pop up my screen real quick. Cool. What happened to the Piers Morgan thing?
I don't know. I think that I think their bookers just shoot out like huge texts to see who bites on things, and then depending on who bites, they decide whether or not they want to go through a segment. So if I get like an invite,
Piers
there's like
Morgan is he's that British guy with the long nose, right? That nobody likes on CNN.
I don't know if anybody likes Piers Morgan. I kind of respect it.
Okay.
I feel like for some reason,
Okay.
yeah, everybody in Britain hates him. A lot of people in the U.S. don't like him, but I mean, he's got to grind. He's got to hustle. He does work.
Okay. So first off, would you mind introducing yourself to my chat, because they don't really see new people too often?
Well, that's kind of sad. But, Jesus. My name
The
is,
last new person that I talked to on stream was probably Erudite and Chud Logic.
Oh, okay. It's quite the cast of characters. My name is Destiny. I do politics and stuff sometimes on the internet, depending on my mood.
Yeah, so what's hilarious is, I'm not sure if I told you this, the first time you and I met was TwitchCon 2022, San Diego. I think that was outside of a hotel. This was way forever ago when I just played gacha games.
Mm-hmm.
But do you remember this conversation that I had with you about this a couple years ago?
Not yet, but keep telling me and maybe I'll remember.
Where I said, yo, what up, Destiny? Big fan. And you were like, I'm pretty sure I know who you are. And I said, yeah, I'm a part of OTK. And you said, oh, that's why I don't like you. Do you remember that or no?
Oh, fuck, I do remember this. Wait, why? This was in reference to something. I was either feuding with... Did this have something to do with Miskiff at the time? Was the Miskiff drama happening at the time?
There's not really a point in time where there's no Miskiff drama happening.
True, but there was a big one. And at that time, I think like all of OTK were like enemies about me or enemies concerning me or something. I don't remember, something like this. But
well, I will say this. As a guy who was a part of OTK for 3 years, there wasn't really that much agreeing as like OTK as a whole is going to do this. Like there was never like these. Okay, I'm trying to think. Was there any blacklisting at all?
No, I don't. It never got that bad. I think when I said this, I think I was like half joking. I don't think I've ever seriously feuded with anybody
Yeah,
And,
there was also like a big rift between like owners of OTK and like talent of OTK. So as a talent guy, I was never really involved in like the big higher ups on what they thought. I was kind of just a dude who played video games, and that was pretty much it. But
Wait,
I will
is your
say there's been
background gotcha video games? Is that?
So I started YouTube 6.5, 7 years ago. I played a shit ton of gotcha games for like 4.5 years. I was ridiculously addicted. It was so bad. I've spent, I shit you not, like well over like $500,000 on gotcha games in like 2 years. And it just became a fucking horrible issue. But the longer I played gotcha games, the more I realized that, you know, it's already bad enough gambling addicts. It's already bad enough. And turn the mic up, my guy. My mic is like loud as fuck. What, my side? No, my shit's like peaking, bro. Is my mic bad, guys? Is it bad?
Wait, do you do this with your stream every day too?
Yeah, no, this almost never happens. Like, I feel like my mic is insane.
Oh, you're fine on my end. Ban that guy.
Yeah,
ban that guy. Ban him. He's trolling you. He's fucking trolling you. Ban him and dox him.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, ban that guy. But yeah, I realized that I would always try to like talk about things that I believed in this gaming space, and people just didn't really want to hear it. So I kind of leaned more into like reactionary and like commentary. Also, Asmongold just recommended that I try doing like reactions and commentary. He even told me to copy his thumbnails. I originally copied Mizkif and Ludwig's thumbnails, but Asmon's are a lot easier because my editor does them for free, whereas like the Mizkif, Ludwig thumbnails cost about $50. But now I'm more so into commentary and reactions, and I have been so for probably about like 2.5 years by now.
Okay, I want to ask a real last question. Okay, ready? Okay, and I'm embarrassed because it's been a long time. I don't actually know what the fuck a gacha game is. It looks to me like it's like basically loot boxes, and then you get like characters, and there's not. Is there like actual gameplay when it comes to gacha games, or is it just like loot boxing anime characters?
So the majority of them you just masturbate to. There's not really any gameplay. It's kind of like pull the new character and then come.
Okay, but where does the gambling come in from?
So the gambling is to get the women that you come to, or the men, but that's very rare.
Is there no gameplay? Is it truly just buying like characters?
So the majority of gacha games are take a pre-existing formula of a video game and then make it live service. So there's a frequent update for new content every 6 weeks, and then just add a massive pay gate to where you have to pay $400 to $500 per character that you want to use. So like, for example, the biggest gacha game of all time copied a game called Breath of the Wild. So Genshin Impact is Breath of the Wild, but instead of getting the characters and weapons for free, you have to pay $500 for it.
Oh, so kind of like a long time ago, I don't know if this is still a thing, but on cell phones, there was the Korean MMO formula kind of. And people just iterate on like how the paywalls work and everything, but like the gameplay is basically on rails and it's not much of a challenge. You're just like buying shit and gambling shit and yeah. Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And like the Tower of Fantasy, which is another like MMO. On the phone, which is always fucking terrible. But yeah, that's pretty much everything to know about me. I don't recommend them. I do not recommend them. I barely play them anymore, besides Uma Musume. Have you seen that shit?
I don't. That sounded like a really bad sushi dish. I don't know what that means. I have no idea. Sorry.
Uma Musume, I'm sure your chat knows it. It's anime horse racing.
Okay. Oh, you know, that kind of sounds like the thing. Aren't girls fighting over whether or not they should have Uma Mumas on their purses or something? Does that sound like a thing? Do you have any idea what I'm saying?
That's probably a thing, man. That's probably a thing.
Labubus. What is a labubu? I heard somebody talk about this.
Different. That's way different. Labubu is way different. That's just some ugly gremlin. Uma Musume is like horse girls and shit.
Oh, I've seen the horse girl game. Okay, I've seen that on Livestream Fail. Yeah, okay.
I don't know what the fuck Labubu is. Wait, you still go on Livestream Fails?
Yeah, of course. We have to do we do a call to action every hour. We try to brigade it as aggressively as possible. Anytime we see a Hassan Piker post, we try to post really mean and rude stuff about him so that he cries about it on stream. Yeah, it's a hugely coordinated effort. I think I spend probably over $200,000 a month on bots and Nazis to go and spam bad stuff about Hassan Piker.
Okay, good. Okay, so me and you do the same thing. Yeah. Awesome. I do that on Geet. Yeah. I don't have as much money as you said. $200,000, a little bit out of my price range. By the way, I did say I saw a clip of you saying that I care a lot about money. I don't think I care a lot about money. I just like being factual with how much money streamers have, which is a fucking ridiculous amount. Because XQC definitely has like hundreds of millions of dollars.
For sure. Well, yeah, hundreds of million. He might actually from the stake sponsors for sure. Yeah, I'm probably. Yeah. He's at least worth $100 million. Maybe, unless he's gambled it all away.
Yeah, which I believe, like, am I crazy? I thought that stake had like a stake fund where like they give you X amount to gamble, so that you.
Yeah,
will
but it
never
wouldn't
lose
surprise me
anything.
if some people gambled more. I don't know XQC that well, so I couldn't say his personality type. But like for instance, for Trainwrecks, if you were to show me Trainwrecks' like bank account and he had $50,000 left, I wouldn't be surprised. But if he also had like $500 million, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, I just have no idea. Like, it's hard to say for the gambling people sometimes.
Yeah. By the way, something I always wanted to ask you is, with you, I think and I think with every streamer, there's always like what one person's saying, what someone else is saying, and what the actual truth is. So I did just kind of want to hear from you. Why are you banned on Twitch? Because I don't get it. Was it because you called like trans people dumb or something?
I mean, there's the macro reason, and then there's the given reason. The given reason, I think, was because but there was a time when I was feuding with Keffels, and then there was a group of, there's like a group, I mean, I don't have to tell you, there's a group of like very ideologically driven, like crazy, a subsect of like trans people online. And I said something along the lines of like these people, like this trans group on Twitter is, I think I called them incestuous or something, or something like that. So like, don't fight with them. It's a waste of time. And they're not even representative of all trans people. These people are crazy or something like that. I thought I said subhuman initially, but apparently that wasn't what I said in the clip. I think I called them inbred, and then I got perma-banned for that. But I think on the macro thing, I think there's just a lot of people at Twitch. Like it's like a San Francisco subculture of people, and I think a lot of them are Hassan fans. And I mean, just given everything else that happens on that platform, I'm thinking there's just a lot of people in trust and safety that really didn't like me for probably reasons related to my politics, is my guess. Because it's hard to imagine why I would get permabanned for that comment, given everything else that happens on Twitch. So yeah.
I will say I am not familiar with what your politics are at all. The only person's politics I usually keep up with is just Hassan's, because they're so dystopian to what any normal human being with a functioning brain thinks. It just baffles me every single time he talks. I'm pretty sure you're like left leaning.
I would say I'm quite far left, but it depends on the environment. It depends on what we're talking about, I guess.
Yeah, I think you are underneath the impression that I'm like far right.
Not really, but we.
Okay, great.
So here, you help me with this, okay? You can help me.
Sure.
Help me sort through this, all right?
Yep.
Okay. This has been my issue with like politics on the internet as of recently, okay? Real quick, do you mind saying how old you are?
How old do you think?
Not a day over 24.
31.
Okay. 31. Nice. Okay.
Yeah, 31.
Okay, 31. I'm 36. Okay. I feel like in the past growing up, and maybe this is just like a thing that happens as you get older and you just see different things. So maybe I'm just, like we remember our childhoods differently. But I feel like growing up, I feel like everything wasn't quite as political. Like today, it feels like everything is political. Like how much you weigh, if you go to the gym, is political. That every single TV show you watch is like, it's people of, liberals watch this, conservatives watch that. I feel like every single thing has become so hardcore political. And I think one of the kind of annoying things that I have to deal with is online, there's a group of people who are like, today we call them woke, but like 10 years ago we called them SJWs. And a lot of these people are incredibly fucking annoying. I've spent a good part of my career fighting against a lot of these people. They've tried to cancel me on 50 million different things. They're just very, very fucking annoying people. In the past, it was the social justice warriors. Today, today it's the fucking wokies. But the issue, I think, is that somehow, like, this has bled over into every single part of life, such that people who are traditionally not, I would say, like, conservative, somehow get wound up in the entire kind of mega conservative stuff. So I don't know if you saw that clip where XQC was shouting at me because he's like, Asmongold isn't even right-leaning. He's like center, he's center-left or whatever. I think the weird thing is that traditionally people would have just been like, God, these like social justice warriors are so fucking annoying online. They're so irritating. And it's like, okay, if you want to have that opinion, that's fine. But now that gets like plugged into, God, these people online are so annoying and woke scoldy. And also, I think that putting children in immigrant cages is actually kind of base. And it's like, wait, how did these two opinions get connected? And I think that's my, I think my issue is that I don't understand how everything gets like wrapped into this huge political movement. It's like, why not just like hate woke, annoying people without having to go full send on the rest of your political opinions? That's like that's the frustrating thing that I have, I guess, to deal with. Yeah.
It's kind of funny, isn't it?
Well, It would be if the country wasn't on the verge of collapse, I think. But yeah.
Yeah. For me, like politics is usually like a joke. Like I don't really take it too seriously, to be completely honest. I like to do what other people probably describe as like common sense politics, where I'll talk about political issues where it's like, this is obviously the right answer and no other answer makes sense. But like for shit like Israel, Palestine, I have no idea what the fuck's going on over there. I have no idea to know what's going on over there. I fucking just don't know. And my other problem is I really don't like trusting getting involved in political issues. Like, for example, you're someone who researches things. I 100% admit I don't research anything.
Sure.
I have no desire to, because I don't know how a human being can get properly informed on issues happening in another country while relying on people to actually give a factual representation of the acts that in the order that they occurred, without being like pushed towards a left agenda or a right agenda. And I worry so much falling down that rabbit hole, I kind of just avoid talking about topics like that altogether. Whereas like, for example, another topic that I would feel comfortable talking about is like HRT and trans kids. I don't believe in trans kids. I believe in mentally ill parents. I don't think that you should be putting HRT into your children due to the fact that, I mean, these kids are like fucking 8 years old. They're 12 years old. Why are you trying to, cancel their, I guess, puberty so they can become a girl better? I just think it's fucking dumb. I think decisions like that are too serious to be making at such a young age. But yeah, that's what I would consider like common sense politics versus, the informed, would be called geopolitical politics.
Yeah, sure. Or it depends. Yeah. So I'll say that there's, so there's two things going on. So one, when it comes to like larger political issues, you look like a snapping young lad who goes to the gym. Do you do like full body workouts or whatever?
Yes. Yeah, I do. Every day.
Okay.
I have a girlfriend who's very active in the gym, and so she makes me work out very good.
Okay. Do you do like deadlifts?
No, I don't do deadlifts. I don't do squats. But I do like so for example, like I have a spine injury.
Sure.
So I have to be very careful with the lifts that I do. Deadlifts and squats are like, they're brutal for me.
Okay. Well, I was going to say for like deadlifting and squatting, these are two pretty complicated lifts. Like if you were to write it down on paper and tell somebody perfectly how to do the lifts, there's no way they'd be able to do them perfectly without a lot of practice. Like you just have to do it, right? I mean, like technically this is true even for benching, right? You bench 225, what do you do?
Bench 225 for about 48 reps over 5 sets.
Jesus Christ, you're a monster. But even, okay,
I outbench Hassan, fun fact. So
nice.
Dude made a clip the other day where he was saying, if you don't bench 225 4 or 5 times, then you can't talk about my politics. And it's like, bro, shut the fuck up. Everybody could do 225 with like 6 months of practice in the gym. It's not even hard.
Sure. Okay. So when it comes to doing stuff like that, you just have to like have experience, right? Like no amount of reading or research is going to give you the perfect form, is going to give you the muscles to do it. I think when it comes to a lot of political issues, so geopolitics or economics or whatever, there's not a shortcut for just kind of like having a lot of ground information and then like reading a lot of stuff. There's no way to just be able to pick out one article and discern the truth or the not truth. When it comes to complicated, large-scale political issues. That's one thing I would say, but then you said you don't touch those that much, which is fine. The second thing that I kind of wonder about sometimes, so when you talk about like the HRT for kids thing, so I think that there are some issues that can be contentious. I cringe a lot when people talk about like their 4-year-olds or trans or whatever weird stuff like that.
Fucking insane.
But
it's psychotic.
Yeah, for sure. But the thing that I kind of question sometimes is there's this magnitude effect that's hard to explain to somebody, where somebody can say something and it's not like wrong, but sometimes I wonder the response. So for instance, like if I were to tell you I broke up with my ex because I felt like they left the house dirty. I felt like they lied to me sometimes. They stabbed me 4 times once when I was sleeping, and they said something mean about my mom, right? Like if I presented it that way, like you would be like, wait, hold on. One of those things seemed way, 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 way worse than the other things,
yes.
Right? It'd be like very weird how I present that. And I didn't say anything wrong, right? Like, oh yeah, but there are 4 reasons why I didn't like this person, When you talk about like the HRT stuff in kids and people have a strong feeling about that, I mean, like we can walk down that whole route. I don't really care that much about it. But I guess my question is I feel like how do some people have such a strong opinion about that, but they're like indifferent to parents not vaccinating their kids against like the measles, and then their kids die of the measles. That's like a weird dichotomy to me.
Well, I feel like there's different. Wouldn't you say? Like I feel like getting proper vaccinations.
Like in terms of like, I've never seen somebody who is like super hell bent against HRT for kids because of protection of the children, all of that. Which I mean, I think that can be a legitimate position. But then when it comes to like people in Texas not giving their kids measles vaccines and then their kids just die from the measles, like holy shit, that just seems unhinged. But like the same group of people that would have really strong opinions about the HRT stuff on the vaccine stuff, they would go, well, I think parents have a right to figure out their kids' medical decisions and the government shouldn't intervene with that. And I was like, I mean, okay, I mean you can have that position, but then why not take the same position like the HRT stuff?
I feel like when it comes to preserving a child's life with a vaccine, I understand that. Hold up. Sorry, my brain is fucking jumbled right now. Holy fuck, you speak so fast.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm trying to keep up. I got brain fog right now. Fucking, I don't have enough B12. Yeah, I feel like a parent should be, I mean, it's probably within their right to say that, you know, for this, when a child's born, they want to make sure that the children doesn't get fucking the measles. But I don't think a parent has the right to say, oh, my son is a girl because they play with Barbies. When in reality, they're just fucking gooners, right? And they're just like looking at the naked Barbie, but they're just like, oh no, I'm telling you, it's a woman trapped in my child's body. I know it is. They're begging to get out. We got to get them on HRT quick, especially when it comes to the whole power dynamic of what your mother wants you to be versus what you are as a son, and you just telling your mom anything that you like. You will tell your mom if they want you to be a daughter. You're like, oh yeah, no, I am a girl, mom, 100%, because you want like their appreciation and their, I guess their approval, and so kids will just do whatever they want for their parents.
Yeah, so I mean, like I said, I can understand why people be opposed to the trans stuff, but I don't understand how people can be okay with not vaccinating their kids. Like, if we're talking about like protecting children and making decisions for them that they're not capable of making yet to keep them healthy and safe, watching kids die of measles now in the United States because parents decide not to vaccinate them. I would say because people in the government.
I think parents should vaccinate their kids. I think they absolutely should be vaccinating their kids.
Yeah, but I understand that. But we run into the magnitude issue, right? So like when it comes to the vaccination stuff, you're like, I think that they should vaccinate their kids personally. But when it comes to the HRT stuff, I think you're like, that should be illegal, right?
I think, well, I mean, yeah, I think it's a big difference, don't you think?
Well, I mean, I feel like there's at least some evidence for trans people being a real thing, regardless of how you feel they should be treated or whatever. But I don't think there's any evidence for like not vaccinating people against the measles. Like I feel like the measles one is a much easier give me.
Yeah, once again, I do think that every child should be vaccinated, 100%. But I feel like when you're making a life-altering decision that much, I don't think, like, I feel like the odds of, I'm a kid, I need to be trans right now or I'm going to kill myself is like, okay, well, that's probably an underlying issue.
Yeah, I mean,
right? That's probably like
a
mental health issue.
It could be, but I mean, like, do we think do you think that anybody is trans, like the older people or whatever?
Do I think that older people are trans? Well, yeah, I mean, I obviously believe it is a byproduct of a mental illness, gender dysphoria.
Sure.
Right.
So, like, if there's no better way to treat it than through transitioning, I mean, obviously, the earlier you can identify it, the better. If there was a different way to treat it, I mean, we talk about a different way to treat it. But I guess I feel like if somebody were to kill their kid because they tried to trans their kid and the fucking hormones ended up killing the kid, I feel like there would be a ton of outrage about that online. But when kids are dying from the measles, I feel like a lot of the people on the right who would get super incensed over the HRT stuff just don't care that much. And that's just crazy to me. Because I feel like, at least ostensibly on one side, you can say like, well, maybe, you know, the HRT stuff, maybe there are trans people who are adults and transition a little earlier can help. But on the measles side, like, it's just like crazy information about vaccines killing people.
How many people are dying of measles right now?
In the United States, not many, but I think that I thought it was someone said it was like the first death since like 2004 or whatever. And then the outbreaks are becoming increasingly large. But I mean, also, like, how many kids are transitioning? There's like in terms of like surgeries and stuff, it's a pretty low number too, right?
Sure. I have to imagine it's on like the rising scale though. What's the suicide rate and depression rate in trans people?
Depends on whether or not I bullied them on Twitter. I'm just kidding. I don't know. I don't know the actual answers. I know it's supposed to be higher, but like so many people cite different numbers, and different people call different people trans. Like people will say like, well, people detransition at like a 98% rate, but when they say detransition, they're talking about people who just have felt like they were trans or non-binary. So it's hard to find the exact numbers, I guess. Yeah.
That's why I care so much about the transitioning of kids is due to the fact that it's kind of blown up out of nowhere. Like I think the whole trans movement became very big in like 2019. At least that's when I became aware of it. 2019, 2020, and now it's kind of like a whole thing taking the world by storm right now. And I think there's a lot of people upset with it because
sure.
I feel like people are okay with people transitioning when people. I can't speak for everybody. I can only speak for myself. I think everybody should have the right to do whatever the fuck they want to do once they become 18. But when they see that mindset from creators like Lily Tino, you know Lily Tino?
It sounds like a Italian version of Lily Pichu. I have no idea.
Yeah. Look into Lily Tino sometime. I think you'll get a kick out of that. They're like a pro trans TikToker who like teaches children why they should convert and like take HRT. And they're huge. Like they're fucking enormous. And so I think people get very uptight about that. Well, once again, I can actually understand what you mean, why people might want to take the more measles thing more seriously. But if measles were to become a bigger thing, I think people would. But I think it's because the whole trans thing right now is so huge on social media that's why they're focusing on it right now. But I feel like if like tens of thousands of kids were dying of measles, I'm sure people would say, hey, man, we should probably stop doing this or start vaccinating our kids.
Sure. Although, I mean, at that point, like measles, I think was an eradicated disease in the United States. I think there's been 3 deaths so far, and then apparently there's over around 1,400 cases that have been confirmed. I don't know if it'll get bigger or not, but I guess the thing that I don't like about the measles stuff is that seems like a no-brainer. Like you should just probably be vaccinated against the measles.
I also absolutely agree. It should be a no-brainer. Absolutely.
Yeah. And then sometimes I worry, like the trans stuff is, I think a lot of it got kind of cringe, but I mean, like you also see a lot of it is kind of course corrected too, right? The UK had their huge report, and then the medical guidelines have kind of changed, and more research has come out, you know, to where maybe it's not good to give kids puberty blockers, you know, before age 14 and stuff. And like, I feel like the science corrects over time. And I think parents, this is like a very sensitive conversation you have to have between parents and children and doctors and figuring it out. And then there's also social media stuff. Like there's a lot of stuff going on. I understand that. I guess when people's like entire political identities get wrapped up in it, that's when it starts to get weird. Kind of like the example I gave earlier about the, you know, hating wokes, and now we're like pro, you know, alligator Alcatraz. I feel like some of the woke people push the trans stuff on hardcore online a lot, and then somehow people become supportive of, you know, like Trump's foreign policy. And I'm like, how did this?
Is alligator Alcatraz, is that real?
Yeah, I think it's like 20 miles to the west of me. It's just like holding.
Bro, that's fucking so cool.
Well,
what the fuck?
Why? Okay,
so
but what do you mean by that? Why?
Like the idea of that is crazy, bro. Like getting just like thousands of alligators. Is it to what, hold illegals or something?
I think it's just temporary holding for people who are being detained and then maybe deported or something.
Yeah, man, I would not want to end up on that shit, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, it's also probably not good,
awful.
right? Yeah, it's not a good thing.
I mean, no, it's probably not, but it sounds fucking cool as shit. It's very marketable. Like the merch for that has to go fucking insane.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think they were trying to sell merch for it. Yeah.
Yeah. Like imagine like a bunch of fucking alligators with like an ice hat on. Sounds nuts.
I don't know if they've managed to get them to wear hats yet down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Where do you want to go from here, from this conversation?
Oh, sure. Okay, so I'm glad to know that you don't think I'm far right. That's good. I don't really think I'm like, honestly, I wouldn't really describe myself as like a political streamer at all.
Sure. Well, but then my issue has to do with like Asmongold as well. Even if you guys on paper maybe wouldn't be far right, in terms of like in practice or application, you become like indistinguishable from it, right? Does that make sense?
Okay, so give me an example of someone who is far right.
So like I would argue that Donald Trump is a far right political figure, and that the lawmakers in Congress that support him are far-right political figures, but I would argue that because they've plugged in socially so well to certain like trigger things like woke stuff or trans stuff, that they end up drafting a whole bunch of people kind of unintentionally. Like Asmongold, I would say hardcore. I'd say you a little bit end up getting drafted to basically supporting like the Conservative Party in the United States, just because.
Didn't Asmund vote for Kamala Harris?
I seriously doubt it.
I thought, wasn't that a thing that he said on stream? Am I crazy?
I don't know, I mean, even if he did, it's been nonstop support for Trump for the past like year. But I seriously doubt he voted for Kamala.
Obviously, I don't want to speak for Asmund at all. I obviously don't want to do that. But I will say, I feel like, political commentators right now should be praying or like thanking God himself that Trump is our president, because he just supplies so much content, man. You know what I mean? Like, political commentators' numbers are up, baby. Like with Joe Biden, what the fuck was anybody talking about? Bro was asleep half the goddamn time.
Yeah, I mean, I think that if I wanted to watch a comedian.
Okay, I also didn't vote. Okay, so
Sure.
Nobody voted. Gotcha.
If I wanted to watch a comedian, I would watch a comedian, right? But for the president of the United States, I think it's kind of important that the United States like functions well as a country. I think that it's probably good that we have a country that is doing the things it's supposed to do to enable all of us to live the lives we want to live. And if there's like funny people to watch, we should probably, turn on Comedy Central and not the White House press briefing, right? I think that's probably not a good thing.
So then you think Kamala Harris would have been a better president?
Yeah, easily, in like every single possible sense of the word.
But Hassan Piker has gone on record saying that they would have done the exact same thing 1-to-1.
Yeah, but Hassan Piker is a fucking retard. Do you want to agree with him?
I just feel like I don't want to rage bait too hard. I'm getting in meme mode too much.
Sure, you're good.
Yeah, I don't really know anything about Kamala Harris, to be completely honest. I was just like, yeah, Trump would be funny if he was the president, and that's pretty much it. That's legit my whole thing. I don't really care. I mean, I would like him to release the Epstein files because I want to know if my president's a pedophile or not. That seems pretty important to me. Yeah, other than that, I just think Donald Trump's a funny guy. He did some shit in WWE back in 2002, so that was sick. He shaved Vince McMahon bald. It was sick.
Do you think is there like any line at some point where you're like, oh shit, maybe this is like a little bit more serious and this is like not good for the country? Or is that a thing that you don't feel like as much of an investment in?
Absolutely. I just don't believe that the president has as much power over the country that people say. Like, I always figured that the president was kind of just like a figurehead to just enact what Congress wants and be a scapegoat in case the country goes to shit so we have somebody to blame. I just don't really believe that a president actually has absolute control over the country.
Do you think, so what about like the tariffs? Doesn't he kind of unilaterally? I mean, like he controls all of that on his own right now, right?
Does he?
Yeah,
this
he does.
This is how uninformed I am.
Sure.
So he has complete control over the tariffs.
Yeah. So one of the issues. So when you hear the soy jacks online like me cry, "Oh, Trump is an authoritarian," right? I think there's this law called the Tariff Emergency Powers Act or some bullshit. It's like IEE. Oh, the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. Okay. So the idea is basically that in times of great crisis, the president is able to unilaterally do some like tariff policy, right? Like imagine Mexico starts invading us tomorrow. The president say, 5,000% tariffs on Mexico. Fuck them. We're not going to import shit while they're trying to kill our country. But the problem is Donald Trump has come out and basically declared everything a national emergency, which is how he's able to do all the tariffs literally on his own. And that's why there's a whole bunch of people now that are complaining that, costs of goods on a whole bunch of random things are starting to increase randomly because people are having to cover the cost of the tariffs. But he's doing that completely on his own. 100%
what's an example
on his own.
of what's an example of something going up in price due to tariffs?
So there is do you buy like graphics cards or do gaming or whatever?
I haven't bought a graphics card myself in several years. So I would be uninformed on graphics cards. I don't believe
Sure.
the price of eggs has gone in any drastic direction.
Well, I mean, eggs we domestically manufactured animal egg. Oh God, what am I trying to think of? What's the name of the guy? He's Tech Jesus. Every time he does like a video on something, you know, it's
I know
about to be
exactly
destroyed.
who you're talking about. Yeah, the
Who am I
NVIDIA
thinking
guy.
of?
Yeah, I know him.
He
Yeah,
destroys everything that we love and cherish. Gamers Nexus, yeah. If anybody's bored, obviously you don't have to watch this, but like Gamers Nexus did a really, really, really good like deep dive into like how tariffs are impacting kind of the computer shipping industry. It's like a 3-hour video, so you don't have to watch it, but I think it's called The Death of Affordable Computing. And he goes through and he talks to a whole bunch of different manufacturing companies for cases and stuff, and talks about like, this is the cost it's going to cost to ship things in now, like this is the difference in price, like this is the stuff that we're going to have to charge. It's not just cases, yeah, it's like everything, but it's really, really, really it's a really good video, but like literally every single thing that you import in this country will become more expensive because we import basically, if we don't import the thing itself, we import the materials to make the things.
So my viewpoint on tariffs, for the very limited knowledge that I have on it, because I know people were saying that the price of eggs is going to become $18 a carton, and for me, where it's at, it's still $3.12. Is that my understanding of tariffs is that we need more American jobs, and we're too reliant on other countries to make these products for us. So putting tariffs short term on our country could cause somewhat of an economic stress, but long term it'll open up the ability for more Americans to have more jobs to make our country more sustainable by itself rather than relying on other people to do the job for us, is my understanding of it.
Sure. Okay, we can talk about this. Okay, I have no problem. I love talking about all these topics, okay? But remember the joke I made in the beginning about how hating woke people somehow became tied to like people's positions on immigration? So I feel like you're somebody who's traditionally not that political, but you're able to fully articulate like the Trump position on tariffs. That's very interesting to me. Right?
I try my best.
Sure. I'm not accusing you of like bad faith, but I'm just saying that like it's crazy to me that like all of these things have become like super connected. That's like really scary to me. Yeah. I'm not saying you're like lying or hiding about anything. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, like I don't think I've ever watched the news in a very long time. Once again, you know, I watch Asman. I've actually learned a lot about politics by bitching about Hassan to people, and they're like, yeah, blah 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 blah. And then obviously I hang out with like Donut Operator and co, so they'll talk about it every now and then. And I'm like, okay, so this is kind of what I understand. And just I've been doing this thing. This is so gay to admit publicly. Do you know what stoicism is?
I know what people say stoicism is, yeah. Are you taking like cold showers in the morning or something, or?
No. So stoicism taught me that approach everything with skepticism. So whenever I hear something, even if it's from somebody that I don't really know, I'll always take a mental note. Like whether I know them deeply or I barely know them, I'll always take a mental note of what they've told me, and then I'll research what it is they told me to make sure I'm not getting misled. Because, I feel like I had this internet issue with a while ago, and I spouted some misinformation. I felt really bad about it. So I'm just trying to Google everything I say a little bit more. But, yeah. Anyways, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, okay, do you do all your own, like, thumbnails and editing for your YouTube channel?
No, none.
Okay. You pay somebody to do that, right?
Yeah, so I have one team of editors that gets 100% of the revenue for my channel. And then I have another editor who gets 20% of what I make off my main channel, and they run everything.
Okay. Do you do when you pay these people to do this work, do you feel like you're getting ripped off?
No. I'm very happy to give them whatever they want.
Yeah, and then I'm guessing they don't feel like they're getting ripped off, right?
No, I think they feel like they're making a lot of money really easy.
So I guess one of the things that I have an issue with, this is a very macro level thing, but it's going to impact this kind of like tariff conversation, is right now there's this very widespread thought on the right that has to do with like everything in life being a zero-sum game. So like if immigrants are winning, it means we're losing. If other countries are winning, it means we're losing. If these people are getting jobs, it means we're losing jobs. People have this weird notion now of trade or of development in general, where you can't create wealth. It always has to be transferred from one party to another. So like when you pay your editors, like in terms of physics, there's only so much matter in the universe, and matter is conserved and all that bullshit, right? But in terms of like human well-being and economics, everything, like you're giving something to them, they're giving something to you, and both sides are benefiting from that. Both sides are walking away from that happier. When I look at things like tariffs, and we're talking about like making everything in America, I feel like one thing that's never brought up is like, why isn't there some stuff that we'd rather just import and like focus on making better stuff? Like in the United States, we have like the highest levels of manufactured goods and services of any other country on the planet. Why would we ever want to go back to just making like nuts and bolts or like refining steel?
I think that's a very fair point, that there are some products that we should be utilizing from other countries. I think that's absolutely fair, 100%. I just think the United States has most likely become over-reliant on other countries, to where the point is we're importing our United States flags from China.
Sure. But I mean, also think about like how cucked that is, that like China has to make our flags for us.
I feel like that's insane.
Well, but like,
it's just fucking crazy.
Isn't it kind of cucked on their end that like we're producing so much in terms of high productivity work that like they have to make flags for us in order to survive as a country? Like I feel like I would rather be the country who's forcing other people to make our shit in order for them to survive than for us to sacrifice, like AI research or electric vehicles or space rockets to China just so that we can make our own flags,
I do think it is dope that we're like, in your words, cucking China. I think it's just a little bit sad for the state of our country where we just can't have Americans making American flags. I will admit, I live in Texas. There is a little bit of pride that I get when I buy a product where it's like, and it says made in America, because it's so rare in today's day and age. There's really not that much left.
That is true, but like people are very quick to be like, oh, this is like made in China. Like all these things are made in China. And maybe like the actual physical things that we touch and interact with, to some extent that's true. But like whose culture dominates the world, right? It's American movies, it's American TV shows, it's American music. Like this is the stuff that's exported to the rest of the world. Like would we rather be exporting nuts and bolts, or would we rather be exporting like the world's culture? Because I feel like you can't do both, Like how much, not to knock them, but like how much German culture, like they do a lot of manufacturing, how much German culture is exported to the United States, or how much Chinese culture do we have exported to the United States? Like I feel like you kind of have to pick and choose like what are the things you specialize in. And in the United States, we're like at the top of like value added goods and services. Like we're doing AI, not coal mining and steel manufacturing. I feel like that's a good place to be.
I feel like since 1945, we haven't really had too much German culture exported to the United States.
Yeah.
But to be completely honest, I can, once again, I want to make this very fair. I absolutely understand your point of view. I think I totally get that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I only
say that because like the scary thing is that there's only so much labor that we have in the country. There's only so much you can do. So I'm sure you've heard the term productivity before, right?
Sure.
A lot of people use productivity to, it almost just sounds like they're saying like, how productive is a worker? Like how much is this guy working versus slacking off? In economics terms, productivity is measured for how much value can an employee create with 1 hour of labor, right? So somebody working at a fast food restaurant is quote unquote less productive. That sounds mean, but less productive than like a software engineer. Just because at the fast food restaurant, for 1 hour of labor, that person is probably creating something that's not worth as much as the 1 hour of labor of somebody working in like a more specialized like engineering field. In the United States, like we do only have so many workers, right? Like our unemployment is pretty low right now. It's below 5%, which is ideally where it should be. We only have like...
is below 5%?
Yes, yeah.
In the United States?
Yeah.
Hold up. I'm just going to... That sounds insane to me. Is that true? Unemployment rate in the United States. Oh my God, damn, it is 4.2%. That's crazy. I did not know it was that low. It really seemed like it'd be much higher by how much people bitch about not being able to get a job.
Yeah. So if our unemployment is really low and our workforce is one of the most productive in the world, right? Because we're educated, we do like high level stuff. If we're talking about bringing back all the baseline manufacturing, like I would rather have, as much as I hate the crypto bros and everything, I'd rather have like the tech people working on AI than the tech people, going into the coal mines to do like the really low level like widget manufacturing, like why not import widgets from another country the same way that you have other people do thumbnails, right? Like I'm not knocking any like
have other countries do our grunt work.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, that sounds mean, but like that is how other countries view the United States, right? Like we talk so much about how much we feel like we're getting ripped off by China, but like the rest of the world is like the U.S. consumer is so fucking powerful that like anything we make, they have the ability to buy it. Their standards of living are outpacing almost all of us, and like nobody is thinking like, God, I wish that we could do more baseline manufacturing and allow the United States to continue dominating the world, you know? Like the export heavy economies are like the UK, which is kind of fucked right now, Iran, North Korea. Like these are your export heavy economies. And China, whose middle class is nowhere near as high of the standards of living that we have. So yeah, I don't know. Sometimes there's like these truisms that are given, like, oh, you know, if we trade with other countries and we have a trade deficit, it's really bad. And it's like, well, we also just have a lot of money and a lot of consumer power that we can buy a lot of shit. And that's not a bad thing. Like we're the envy of the world when it comes to our economy. And I think people look over that sometimes.
I think a lot of people's view on politics is very black and white, but I think everything's like a particular shade of gray. So I want to say I think I understand your philosophy of having other countries do our grunt work. That way we can actually do the shit that actually fucking matters here in America. However, I can also understand someone's perspective if they think that we're becoming too over-reliant on other countries' resources and want to take this shit into American hands ourselves and try to become more sustainable independently. For
sure. I think sometimes people get trapped in this mindset, and I think you've already moved past this. But like one of the big issues with being a small business owner is you want to do everything yourself. Right? I don't know when you started YouTube if you did all your own thumbnails and you did all your own editing, but the very first moments of like an entrepreneur's life of starting to hand off like tasks to other people is a very difficult moment. A lot of small business owners don't ever get over it. And I think sometimes people look at a small business owner who does everything and they're like, oh my God, like this guy is like really cool. He's very knowledgeable. He knows all aspects of his field. Like this guy's like, you know, rocking. But like for successful business owners, they look at that guy and they go like, oof, like this guy is not able to, he's not able to give responsibilities to other people. He's not able to, there's a word I'm like, not distribute, not delineate. He's not able to delegate stuff effectively, and he's never going to grow as a businessman. And I feel like in the United States, we've delegated away a lot of the baseline manufacturing stuff, and it's enabled us to do like the really cool shit. You know, like Elon Musk came to the United States to make rockets and electric vehicles. He didn't go to Germany. He didn't go to China. He didn't go to any export heavy economy. He went to the United States, right? Despite our trade deficits and despite how much other countries are making the steel or whatever, like he came here to do it. I think there's a reason why. I think that's important to focus on. Yeah.
Made fun of other content creators who are like above 1 million subscribers who are still making their thumbnails and editing themselves when they could pay somebody else like 20% of what they make, give them a job while also making their quality of life skyrocket by saving them 8 hours of the day when all they do is complain about how they have no time left. It's like, well, unfortunately, that's your problem. You are a product of your own disaster. Like that's completely on you. Yeah. So yeah, I think I get that too.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I wanted to ask, wait, are we done with this or are we still going on this?
No, that's a general thing I have. Yeah, go for it. What's up?
Cool. So one of the things that I wanted to know was, okay, so I use the terminology that shit's fucking gay quite often.
Sure.
It was what was it? There was I think you were reacting to one of my videos and there was this channel called DGG Clips. So do you think calling something gay is like bad?
I mean, like I don't know. It depends.
I believe you're bisexual.
Yeah, part-time gay.
Part-time.
Part-time.
Which side do you prefer?
Probably the girl side.
What part? Okay, so once again,
the vagina. What?
Okay, you like the vagina. I've never tried anal, so like I don't know how that feels.
Okay.
Right. So like I've never put my penis in like an ass. I haven't done that. I don't really understand how that even. I don't even understand how that works.
Well, it's like imagine taking a poop, but it's like backwards, I guess. I've never done anal with a guy or any of that either. So.
Okay, you never had anal with a female?
No. Like fucked a girl in the ass? No.
Yeah. Okay. Then we're on the same page here. Yeah. So I am wondering. So one thing that I believe that I am just curious on is you believe in open relationships?
I believe in open. I mean, I don't know how to say I believe in them, but I mean, people are free to do what they want, I guess. We're more specifically, what do you mean? Like, would I advocate for them?
Okay,
Probably
so
not.
I'll just be real. Okay, so all right. So one of the reasons why I really want to talk to you today is because there is so many people telling me, do not talk to Destiny.
Sure.
And I think that's hilarious because when somebody tells me to not do something, I just like, oh, well, we'll see. And one of the things that people, I'm sure you know your nicknames.
No, which ones?
Okay, people call you Cuxtony, and I wanted to know.
Me?
Yes.
No
yes.
way.
And I'm just wondering, what is that about? I don't know what that's about. What is that about?
So there is a you're familiar with like the red pill, right?
Yes, I am familiar with the red pill.
Yeah. So the for my relationships for the past, I guess like 5 or 6 or 7 years, just because I stream and do so much stuff online, I gravitate towards like open relationships because I don't have enough time for a real relationship. I shouldn't say that. That's mean. Let me back that up. Open relationships aren't fake relationships. I don't mean that. But because I work so much and I'm busy with stuff, I just tend to be more open. And so if my partner wants to go off and do what they want to do, then they can do that. If I do what I want to do, I want to do that.
Just to make sure.
Yeah.
So if by what you mean, a partner do what they want to do, that means that you are okay with like your partner having sex with another person?
Yeah, if they want to go bang somebody, do whatever, that's fine. As long as I can do the same. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, I'll talk about that in a second.
Sure. But there are people who would say that if you're a guy and your partner bangs somebody else, so that's cuckoldry, hence cuxtony. Yes.
So why do you think you're okay with open relationships? I'm super against them.
I would stress, you have to be careful when you say like, are you okay with them or are you against them? This is just like my lifestyle thing. For me, like a ton of my time is just dumped into work or work related stuff. Like that's probably where like 90% of my time in the day goes to. And then it's like shower, eat, sleep. I just don't have time for like a real actual relationship. Like if you dated me as like a strictly, maybe in the future, but I'm married to my work right now. If you dated me right now and it was like a true monogamous relationship, like just one-on-one, you're probably going to feel very unfulfilled. Like it's going to feel very disappointing, especially because like in politics, like if something is going on, you might be streaming a lot that day, or there might be a lot of news to catch up on that day, or I might be traveling for a debate shit or whatever. I just don't have time like to put into like a real one-on-one monogamous relationship thing. Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know. I guess I feel that's kind of, from my perspective, I understand what you're saying. I've had 2 relationships where one I felt like I couldn't be present due to my work. However, I did not even like this person, so I don't even know why I was with them. So I kind of just chose to bury myself in my work because I didn't want to even be near them regardless. And so we ended up divorcing later.
Okay.
And then I had another relationship where I dated an OnlyFans girl where I thought I was okay with it because I was like, oh, I mean, all these other people are spending money to see this, but then I get the real thing. But then I realized I feel like that's so fucking cocked. And now I know I will never date another OnlyFans girl because I feel like in this life, in this world, there are very few things that are truly sacred. I'm very happy with the fact that I'm a 31-year-old man and I've only had sex with different women. I've had sex with, would you count oral as sex?
If you want to, sure.
Okay, I've only had vaginal sex with 3 women, and then I've only had oral sex with about 7 women. And I feel like I'm not a guy who does like frivolous relationships. I'm not a guy who's going to sleep around. I'm not going to be a guy who's like, oh, I met you at TwitchCon. Let's have sex right now. I believe that in this world, there's something beautiful about this is the person that I love. We have this experience that is sex that we have together. This is the bond that I have with my girlfriend or my wife. I also would not have sex or do anything sexual unless I'm dating that person. I just wouldn't do that. I don't think it's because religious. I just think it's just kind of, I just think random sex is sad. I do.
Okay.
But like, I believe that it's very sacred to have with your partner. So the reason why open relationships confuse me so much is that I believe, what is the difference then between just a friend with benefits and your partner if the act of sex can be shared with multiple people?
So I don't know why I've just never been able to bridge this gap. So I hear what you're saying, and I hear a lot of people say that, but like in my mind, sex is very easy to just have with a random person. Like as long as your genitals plug into each other, like you can fuck them. That just is a very easy, not difficult thing to do. For me, there are certain people in my life that I have like a lot of chemistry with, that, you know, I can walk over to the beach with a laptop and a blanket and like watch a movie and, you know, like go out to dinner and chat with somebody for like 3 or 4 hours. These are like much harder moments for me to capture, to find somebody who like captures my attention for a long period of time, that I have like a special happy feeling around, that I feel like I have a lot of like romantic chemistry with. These things mean way more to me than just can I fuck the person. So I guess like not to be derisive towards people that view sex as sacred, but when I hear somebody say like I can't imagine just having sex with anybody and not treating that specially, in my mind, I guess if I was being negative, I would flip that and I would say I can't imagine thinking somebody's super special just because you fuck them, because in my mind that's the easy part. Like having sex with somebody is easy, but I feel like the actual like romantic chemistry and enjoying somebody on that level is much more difficult to do. So I guess that's the thing that I value a bit more. But I mean, like everybody's different, I guess, when it comes to that. Yeah.
Do you find people like who's like an interesting person to you? Where you're like, oh, this person's interesting. Like, are you in a relationship right now?
I keep my personal life is very separate from my stream life now. Yeah. No, you're good. You're good. Yeah, you're good. I used to be very open about everything, but all of that is very separate now. But yeah.
I think that's really fucking smart. I think that's really fucking smart. I have the same rule where it doesn't matter, even if you catch me fucking somebody, even if I'm slightly alluding to them, even if you see my dick in their mouth, I don't know who that person is. I don't want anybody to get involved in my relationship whatsoever. I've had that experience once. It's fucking miserable. So I think it's honestly a smart idea that you're doing that. Yeah, but I just feel like, okay, so you think having someone to talk to that's like interesting,
and that you have like, I don't know how to explain it, but like there's, I mean, I don't know. Do you have do you feel like there are certain people you have like romantic chemistry with? Does that make sense or no?
Yeah, no, of course. I absolutely believe in that. 100%.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's kind of what I'm talking about. I mean, like, obviously the other stuff is important too. Like, I hope that they're intelligent and we can have like an intelligent conversation and be like interested and captivated with each other. But there are some people you just have like very, very high romantic chemistry with. Yeah, that's
romance means sexual energy, or do you mean like
not necessarily sexual? No, like sexual. I don't know. Sexy is easy. Like, I feel like they're like a lot of women are hot, and you can fuck them. But having like a romantic attraction and then a romantic, I guess, like experience with somebody, that just feels, I'm not just talking about sex there, I guess. Is there something in your mind that exists separate to sex that you would view as romantic, or do you tie those two things pretty closely together? There's not a wrong answer also. Maybe some people.
Oh, there's like, yeah, no, I think like cuddling, like kissing, going on dates, all that shit. Watching each other's like favorite movies together. But the thing is that what I'm trying to put is like thing that you only do with this person. Right? I'm not going to cuddle one of my friends. I'm not going to fuck one of my friends. Sure. I'm not going to do any of that shit. Right? So like that's why I think that those acts are so sacred to me, where I don't want to do them with anything else, because like, and just to challenge you, what is the difference between a partner for you and a friend?
Well, I would say it's probably the really high romantic chemistry thing.
Fuck, I'm trying really hard to understand that. This will probably
if I sure. Well, I also don't have to disagree on it. Like, people can just have different feelings about it. That's fine. Sure. But like if I think of like 10 friends of mine that are girls, and I think of like romantic interactions, so like cuddling or watching a favorite movie and like having that type of interaction, right? And then I think of like just fucking. Like, I can fuck almost all my women friends because they're reasonably attractive. It's like, yeah, sure. But in terms of like sharing like really special romantic moments with, probably not. Maybe there's only one or less out of 10 people, right? That's going to be a much more obscure thing, I guess, or not obscure thing. That's a much more difficult thing to come across, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I just can't do that.
Sure.
I cannot do that. I don't know why, man. That idea is weird to me.
Yeah, that's fine. But also, I think that that's fairly normal. Like, I think most of humans gravitate towards monogamous relationships. Like, I think that if I wasn't streaming so much, if I did something else for work, or it was like a more normal kind of like 9 to 5ish, like maybe I would have more time to just sink into one person, and then maybe I would gravitate more towards monogamous stuff. But
okay, all right, that's interesting. I'm at least glad I know how you think about that, because I've never really had the opportunity. I don't know anybody else who does that. So I guess that at least I can understand why you think the way you think now. That's interesting. Yeah. Okay. Well, anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, let's talk about. Wait, can I get 2 minutes to pass?
Yeah, go for it. I'm gonna grab a Red Bull. One sec.
Just to prepare, I want to talk about making jokes.
Sure.
Yeah. What's that? Grab that.
I see you fuckers in Tectones chat. Somebody said I was lying earlier about the unemployment rate. You motherfucker. Look up the U3 versus the U6 unemployment rate. The idea that there's discouraged workers that aren't being tracked in Maine unemployment is something that people account for. All of these numbers track each other. They have diverged wildly in the past couple of years. Anybody that brings up the fact that the U3 doesn't accurately track unemployment is fucking lying, okay? Fuck you. One second.
All right, I'm back. Oh, damn, he missed too. Oh, we're back at the same time. Holy synchronization. That was cool.
Oh my god.
All right. That was like perfect sync. Okay. So I think one of the biggest points of contention that we had was obviously for the Guadalupe River, when the youth Christian girls camp got swept through by the river. I think like 100 people died. I'm pretty sure, something like that. NMP made a joke. NMP and Donut got into an issue. Then I supported Donut's side, and then I think you reinforced NMP's side. So I think it'd be good to just talk about differing point of views for that specific issue on why you think, and once again, why you think making jokes about that side is fine, and then how I think about this scenario, why making jokes in that, because there's a very specific scenario that I'm referring to on why I don't think it was cool to do that at that time for specifically NMP.
For specifically NMP. Oof. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Here's what I would say broadly speaking. Okay. I think that broadly speaking, edgy jokes and who you're allowed to make fun of, I'm going to quote the anti-SJWs from 2016. If you want to find out who you can't make fun of, find out who you're not allowed to laugh at. I feel like jokes are just an exercise. This is going to get really cringe. I'm sorry. We're political theory. But I think that humor is oftentimes an exercise of the political power, and it demonstrates the power structures around you for who has the power in this scenario. Meaning that if I were to be in a group of bros and I had like the funniest fucking jokes ever related to botched trans surgeries or making fun of some fucking 15-year-old TikTok non-binary kids who are lopping their tits off or some shit, that like there's a bunch of humor that you can mine there. I'm sure you guys have, and I'm just sure there's a lot of people in general that have like made fun of a lot of people on that side of the internet related to trans stuff.
Oh, I've made so many jokes about absolutely everything.
Sure.
From the Holocaust to 9/11.
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
sure I've made a joke
and I
about
think
everything.
if people want to make jokes like that, that's fine. I mean, I like, you can joke about anything if it's just jokes. But I think that the trap that people fall into is they think, wow, I make some very edgy jokes. I'm a very edgy person. And there's this concept that I became aware of when I looked at Hassan, and I call this like safe edgy. And safe edgy is when you're like making edgy jokes, but you're doing it amongst a group of people where it's not very edgy. Like all of you kind of agree, like I would say, obviously I have my political biases here, but when comedians are, making fun of Biden and stuff, and everybody's kind of laughing along. When the Kill Tony guy, when he made that joke about how Puerto Rico is an island of floating trash and all the Dems got triggered and all the Republicans at the Madison Square Garden were laughing, that's like a safe edgy joke because you're in a safe spot to do it. But when Kill Tony did, they did a thing where they made fun of Trump. I don't remember if it was at one of their shows, the extended joke shows or whatever, and some of the fans started to get like really irritated. Now that was edgy humor, but it was actually edgy because the audience wasn't even necessarily vibing with it. So I guess the issue that I have is that sometimes people will pretend that they have these principles. They'll say like, oh, like you can't make fun of drowning kids in Texas or whatever, right? I'm not really even making fun of the drowning kids. I'm making fun of the policies in the Texas and all the dumb shit that goes along with that. And I was like, okay, that's fine. If you want to have that policy, we can't make fun of, dying kids or whatever the fuck, then that's fine. Have that policy. But you can't make fun of, I think the other day Asmongold was laughing at some ship that overturned like 66 immigrants were on their way somewhere and they all died or whatever in some ship, and he was saying the pictures were funny. If you want to laugh at that, Okay, well, fine. If we can laugh at dead kids, though, we can laugh at dead kids. If we can't laugh at dead kids, we can't laugh at any dead kids. We can't pretend that we're edgy sometimes, but not be edgy when it's an issue that impacts us. Because then you're not being edgy. You're just being safe edgy, and you're pretending that you're being edgy. That's the thing that like triggers me. Like, it's either all okay, or we have to draw some hard boundaries and say that none of this is okay. You know, depending on the subject matter. Yeah.
100% your point. I understand your point of view. So I think the reason why the Guadalupe River jokes were so less than positively received is due to the fact that it was actively happening while the search for the children's was still occurring, and the people who got offended by it, I mean, I'm not going to lie, it pissed me off as well, were, for example, Donut and Brandon and Eli and myself, because while we were out there looking for these kids, we see someone who's within driving distance to come help us on the effort, and instead of driving to come help, they're saying, LOL, there's no reason to live anyways, AI's taking over, nobody cares about kids dying. So I think it was like a very sensitive time. I don't want to joke police at all, but I think there was a lot of very high tension moments between people who were very emotionally invested. And I think telling jokes is fine, but like, as you said, telling edgy jokes isn't so edgy when you know everybody's going to agree with you, but at the same time, there are some jokes that just are not fucking funny, so expect people to crash the fuck out on you if your delivery is shit.
Sure, and that's fine. So something happened a few times. I don't know how long this will carry over, but I like, he said it as a joke, but I was actually kind of happy, and I feel like it made my point a little bit. There was a time when, I don't remember what it was exactly, but Asmongold looked at something, and he was about to say some shit, and I remember he said, okay, I can't make this joke because if I do this, Destiny's going to roast me on this. And he said that as like a joke, but the fact that he thought about that, that's actually, I like that, because I'm sure 100%, I guarantee it, that as much as I might not like Donut Operator for reasons, I bet that when he read my tweet, I bet that wasn't just a clout farming moment. He wanted to, fuck Destiny, blah, blah. I bet it did actually bother him a bit, right? These are your communities. You've got fucking, he has a kid, imagine your kid going off to camp and fucking drowning at a flood where it's supposed to be like a fun event, and people online making fun of it. That's got to be like a horrible fucking feeling. And I'm sure it did feel fucking horrible. But I guess like the thing that I ask as a human being, we should be able to do this, is if you have that feeling and my jokes are making you feel that bad, it can't possibly be that we are making jokes about people dying in the California wildfires when that's going on. It can't be that we're joking about, oh, I guess Newsom fucked up and now all you people are dying, and oh, look at these losers in California. Maybe they shouldn't have had all the whatever around their house and all that shit. Because those jokes were flying when West Hollywood and all that shit was on fire. But because it's California, it's okay.
I do think there is a difference, because for the jokes about the Guadalupe River disaster, it was LOL, dead kids, they deserve to die. Why'd you put people who can't swim near a river? Versus the California wildfires, which were, well, the government or the senator, whoever the fuck's in charge of that nation, fucked up dramatically, because instead of having able-bodied citizens who could come and help aid the forest, they were more worried about inclusivity and being progressive and hiring women and transgender people, so that way that the people who are saving you look like you. And I think people were criticizing the way the wildfires were being handled rather than LOL, everybody's dying. I don't think anybody was doing that.
So there's like 20 issues that I have with that statement. But let's say that let's even assume that all that was true, although almost none of that was true. But let's assume that all of that was true, right? There's a way that somebody can criticize you to where you can tell it's coming from a good place, versus there's a way that somebody can criticize you where you can tell that they're just like having a goof, where it doesn't feel like these two things feel very different, right?
Do you think you were having a goof? Because I think you would admit that you were going a little bit wild.
Well, do you think, in reading my tweets, do you think that I was happy that children were dying? That I'm like, good, dead kids?
To me,
Well, see, like, the fact that you're laughing right now makes me think that I'm not saying that good dead kids, right? But like, so for instance, so now we just diving a bit into, not getting into work, okay? Diving into the factuality of things, right? Nothing about the California wildfires was because of DEI or female firefighters or like, people were literally posting commercials from like a TV show saying that like, oh, look, they hired all female firefighters or whatever. And these weren't even real things, okay? But like, when you're done with this, if you get bored tomorrow, you can literally bring up like Care County citizens testimony, ARPA funds, And when they're considering, because one of the issues I guess they have, I don't live out in these places in Texas, but one of the issues they have is that like there's not good cell phone reception in a lot of these places because it's hilly, it's like mountains, there's a lot of things. One of the things that they were considering was putting up like a siren warning system for flash floods. So you don't need a phone, you just hear the sirens blaring. It's like, oh shit, there's a flash flood. Like we need to get to higher ground, you know? The citizens are going up over and over again as person after person. They're fighting against these funds. They have the money in the bank account from the American Rescue Plan. And the citizens don't want to spend the money because they think that if they do, Biden is going to come and take their homes, right? Because of stuff that they hear from Alex Jones, because of stuff they hear from Ben Shapiro, from Donald Trump, from the rest of these lawmakers. And like, it's funny and it's goofs and it's gaffes online. And it's like, okay, well, if all of this is a joke, you know, if we're going to have RFK talking about not getting vaccinated for the measles, and we're going to have people like DeSantis lying about Biden stealing your home if you accept funds, and then you get a flash flood and you don't have any sirens, you don't have any warning system, and now kids are dying, and it's like, now you have to care a lot. And it's like, damn, if we cared, maybe we should have done something in advance when it was preventable.
So the reason why I was laughing earlier was because the way that I found out about you was via that black guy who goes, amazing.
Jesse Lee Peterson or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, are you and him friends?
I wouldn't say that, no. I mean, we're like friendly, but I wouldn't say friends.
Okay, that's sad because I really liked that content. That was a lot of fun. And then obviously I enjoyed when you covered the Mizkiff drama where you would play Factorio, and then
Sure.
you did a little bit of clip farmings. But the reason why I was laughing is because I keep on hearing from there was a clip from Erudite where it was like, look, Destiny, you are someone who's pushing everybody away, and this is why nobody wants to talk to you, and that like you're burning bridges and all this shit. And what I saw was somebody who was very angry. And they saw someone tell a joke, and then that pissed you off, and then you essentially were like, no, this is a fucking joke, and now I'm going to say the worst things in human history, and you're going to fucking laugh or you're a pussy because we need to own the conservatives like people own the libs of the left. So I just saw someone who was very angry and frustrated over a situation crashing the fuck out.
Sure. I mean, you can say, I mean, that's one way you can view it, but I think the more prescient example or the better explanation is just that, like, if conservatives want to have this domain, and I've watched Brandon Herrera and all these guys on their show talk, you might have even been on this one where they were talking about like, oh, edgy humor is important and we make fun of school shootings and haha or whatever. It's like, okay, well, fine. If we're gonna have edgy humor, then let's have edgy humor. But if I say edgy jokes and they're bothering you, okay, and people want to get mad at me for that, that's fine. Get mad at me. That's great. But I hope that feeling carries through to the next time, right? Like when you're disciplining a kid and, they're not sharing their toys or whatever, or the kid hits somebody and you like smack the kid on the bottom, you're like, hey, it doesn't feel good, right? Don't do that to somebody, I hope that there's at least a few people who, when I make certain jokes about, kids drowning and whatever, some fucking flood, that the next time there's like a school shooting in some liberal area or some kids are dying on a, some boat that overturns because they were trying to immigrate to some country, that people think for a second, it's like, okay, fuck. I didn't like this. I guess when people made fun of my shit, maybe I should kind of like chill on this.
I think there's a big difference in what people consider a joke. And I think this is the problem where what people consider a joke in 2025 is, I'm going to say the worst thing in human history right now. Why aren't you laughing? It's because
it wasn't even but that wasn't even the worst thing. There's a million worse things. I could think of 10 worse things right now that I could say.
What's the worst thing? What's the worst thing you can say right now?
I mean, there were like 100 million worse jokes. One was that we needed to recover the bodies as soon as possible and test them for fentanyl, because I don't understand why the little girls couldn't swim. Maybe they drug overdose like they did with George Floyd. I think making a YouTube video where you try to like swim in a pool and then showing that you don't drown and then saying that this is why we need to test them for fentanyl, I think that would have been a joke I could have made. I could have made a joke that we need to retrieve the bodies from the water as fast as possible to find out if any of the little girls were pregnant, since I know that Republicans like to be incestuous so much, and we want to make sure that we're counting the bodies correct, since Texas is a no abortion state, so we make sure that we're doing like the actual death tolls correctly. That would have been a really fucking edgy joke. There's like a million like edgier, meaner jokes that I could have made.
Sure.
I think the NordVPN joke was pretty funny, and then the quote tweet of the other thing, I thought it was pretty funny. I think it was pretty funny humor, and it could have. But I was saying like there's meaner things I could say, but also like again, there's a million jokes that fly about immigrants. Like you were laughing earlier about like the alligator Alcatraz stuff, right? These are people's like moms, dads, brothers, and sisters that are going here, and even you think it's kind of funny. It's like epic alligator hats. Well,
to me, I'm not laughing at the alligator Alcatraz. I'm merely laughing at the concept. I'm a pretty laughy guy. I'm not gonna lie. The other
Sure,
thing
but you
is
can
that
interpret that. But like,
these
if you had a family member in Alligator Alcatraz, you're probably not going to interpret it that way, right? You're like, what? Damn, this guy's making fun of the fact that my uncle who's lived here for 20 years just got shipped off to some. Yeah.
To give full disclosure, I do have a family member who is constantly in prison. Surprisingly, it's not my dad. And to be honest, I don't give a fuck about them because they're a criminal. So I just don't talk to them because they're a piece of shit. I actually don't think I would feel bad for someone who was incarcerated or in Alligator Alcatraz if they were put there for an action that because they like broke the law or they were a criminal or something.
Yeah, but when we say break the law, if the law is just that they like came here illegally like 20 years ago, like I think it feels different, right? No? Does it all feel the same to you? Like if I say that like somebody's in jail because they got caught smoking marijuana, that feels a lot different than like, they're in jail because they set fire to a grocery store, right?
Yeah, there's always levels. There's always levels,
Yeah.
absolutely. I understand. I think the United States is trying to make I think they're kind of being forced in a position where they're having to get more extreme to really deal with the illegal immigration issue. Because we have people who are actively going against the nation and preventing ICE from doing their job and throwing bricks at police officers. So now they say, okay, well, because you guys are fucking around, enjoy hanging out with alligators.
I mean, we can say that, but I could just easily flip it around and say maybe the president should learn to work more with governors and states, and we should actually have like a coherent immigration policy that enables us to take a big look at the system and fix things instead of just wasting all this money just trying to ship a few people out and not having a real solution at all. You could flip this around the same way, right?
Sure. I do think if everything worked perfectly, it would be a lot easier to deal with the issues that we have, but they just don't.
Sure, but I would go back to the one thing. So you're saying if things worked out perfectly, we'd be able to deal with these issues better. But I would argue that one of the big reasons why we can't deal with issues right now is because a lot of people voted for Trump because he's funny, and I think that's part of the problem. I also think right?
when was the last good president that we actually had?
You're gonna laugh, but I think Biden did a really good job as president, and.
Fuck, I was gonna laugh. Shit, man.
Yeah, you can laugh, but we can.
Sleeping, man, Sleepy Joe.
You say Sleepy Joe, but we can walk down every single issue, and he outperformed Trump like it's not even close. But if you're just trying to evaluate, if we're trying to evaluate who the funnier president is, then it's going to be Trump. But are we voting for a clown or are we voting for a president, right?
To be fair, the Biden blast memes were hilarious. Biden did have some meme potential, especially when he, people think that Biden was the last vote for Donald Trump. But you should make one of those anime compilations where it's like battle IQ, Biden versus Trump, speed, Trump, power, Biden, IQ, Trump. That'd be good shit, man. I think the political anime power scaling community could really cross over. But yeah, also circling back, would like to shout out Donut Operator. One of the best people I know on this planet. Great fucking guy. As well as his whole unsubscriber. I really like those guys. They are very good people because they are people who do what they say rather than just talk about it all the fucking time, which I think is very rare in the content creation space. But I think those jokes that you said, even me, when you said the whole, we need to test those people for fent, you got to chuckle at me. I'm not going to fucking lie. But I think it's because it's just the timing. It's the timing.
But that's what makes it edgy. It's not... Also, it doesn't make sense to make those jokes after the fact. Imagine I'm making jokes now, remember those dead kids in Texas? I guess they should invest more in swimming pools at public schools,
right,
huh? It would make sense. That would be even more unhinged to say it now, no?
But even with that line of logic, you're telling edgy jokes because then there's a chance that people won't be positively receptive towards it. But then you sound like you're still surprised that people weren't positively receptive towards it.
I'm not surprised at all. I understand it's going to be edgy. Of course it is.
Okay.
But I'm not out here pearl clutching over my edgy jokes. That's the difference. I think edgy jokes are funny. I think all edgy jokes can be funny. Now, I might disagree with the underlying ideology, but if a joke is funny, a joke is funny, even if I disagree with where it's coming from. Nazis tell funny jokes sometimes. I'm not going to sit here and say it's impossible, but I'm not going to selectively pearl clutch, right? I made a joke about, I think your dad or whatever, and then you brought up something related to my son, and I told my child, when you said it, I was like, listen, bro, I went into his family, he goes into my family. That's fair. It's fucking fair. I'm not going to sit here and cry over it, right? I think it's fair. So if people want to do the edgy joke thing, then fine, do the edgy joke thing. But it's either all the edgy jokes or it's none of the edgy jokes. That's I guess what I want people to consider. Because again, like if there was like an immigrant boat from fucking Nicaragua that overtipped in the Gulf of America now and everybody died, and I tweeted out, you know, it's like, oh wow, I guess black people really can't swim, LOL. Like all the conservatives would be laughing about that joke. I would have omega lols all over my fucking Twitter feed on it. Like nobody would be like, well bro, come on, that's not cool. Like there were kids on that boat, they died. Like everybody would just be laughing at it. I just don't like the selective edginess. Yeah.
You think there's like a right versus left thing?
No, it's not a right versus left thing. I think a lot of people do it where they're quote unquote edgy, but it's only selectively. And I think that people in general need to be more aware of it, you know?
I just feel like maybe just like waiting like a day or two before we make fun of dead kids. It's just like, it's like the bare minimum, you know what I mean? Just like wait like a day. Let's let their bodies dry from the flood before we say, LOL, fuck those kids. They're pieces of shit. They should have learned how to swim.
I mean, I don't think it would have made much of a difference, but if people listen, I'm just saying if people want to be edgy, then be edgy. But if people don't like it when people are edgy towards them, then don't be edgy, you know? But remember that feeling when it comes time to being edgy towards other people. Just internalize it. Be like, okay, fuck, maybe these aren't okay jokes to say, you know?
What do you think about my dad, by the way?
Well, I haven't even read into it that much. I just know the memes from Frogan.
You know what's crazy?
What?
Nobody really has. That's what's very interesting. It is crazy to see how people think that the sins of a father are the sins of the son, which I think is a little bit silly. Do you think that's crimes are genetically, generationally passed down?
I mean, if you're a conservative, you want to get rid of all the DACA kids. It seems like people think that. Just kidding. Not to make it political. No, not necessarily. Yeah. Of course not. No.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I guess like for me, like just to wrap this up, unless you had any more you wanted to say, I do just think for that specific scenario, and obviously I don't think we're ever going to see eye to eye on this. I think that's okay. I think this is just one of those things where it's like the people involved obviously got pissed off because they're the people involved. And I mean, I'm not going to lie, dude. It was bad, like having to be there and like not knowing.
But like
if
the California fire stuff was also bad, right? Like those people didn't deserve to die any more than the kids in Texas, regardless of what governor errors might exist, right?
Sure, but I don't think anybody told a joke, and feel free to prove me wrong. I don't think anybody said, LOL, those people deserve to die. I think the jokes were, hey, you guys aren't handling these fires appropriately, and people are dying because of them.
Okay, but like I don't think my joke was, LOL, those kids deserve to die either, no?
Did you not say, why would you put... Can you pull up one of your jokes? I feel like they were pretty rough, man. I feel like they were pretty rough.
Yeah, they were. I think, wasn't it something about like maybe people shouldn't have used like NordVPN to hide their porn usage or something like that because Texas had just done like some stupid fucking porn ban or whatever. I think Donut Operator was memeing about the fire stuff. I don't know if it was one of his tweets or whatever.
Donut Operator was shitting on the people who were in charge of handling the fires, but he wasn't making fun of the people who were suffering. He was very frustrated at that because he wanted to do better.
But I mean, but if you want to take that framing, I'm frustrated that Texas is wasting their time and money on stupid laws like banning pornography rather than like upgrading maybe siren infrastructure.
I will say, as a gooner, I'm also very upset that I have to put my ID card in to jerk off to Pornhub. It is very frustrating for me. But yeah, I mean, let me just, because I don't want to be arguing in bad faith. I'll just let me pull up a joke. Because I want to make sure that I'm not misremembering this. I remember you being kind of crazy. I'm not going to lie.
Sure.
What was the date of that? Do you remember the date of that shit?
I mean, I'm sure if you search like at the OmniLiberal and then NordVPN, both my tweets will probably come up on Twitter.
Okay, at OmniLiberal NordVPN. Okay. So once again, I want to make this a timing issue because just like the absurd, and I understand this is an edgy joke. I understand.
Sure.
Right, because the timing of this is so absurd to say something so insane. Like I feel like this shit is fucking.
I mean, it only works. It only works. Like, why would I make this joke later on? Right.
Okay, I heard God killed those kids because they were using NordVPN, promo code Destiny, to get around the Texas porn ban. I feel like that's so insane to say before their bodies are even like dry. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe we just wait a little bit, and you know, I mean, I don't know if you're like, oh, there's this horrible thing happening. I need to make a joke about it right now. Well, because I can't tell the joke in a week. It's like, well,
I mean, I guess, but like Asmongold was literally live reacting to migrant boats flipping over and everybody dying. I think I sent you a tweet where I was quote tweeting some of.
Is that a thing? I hate to talk about Asmon. Is that an actual clip?
Somebody wants it from yesterday. I think we looked at him yesterday. I linked a thing where this is Donut Operator like blaming Gavin Newsom and then talking about like DEI and retweeting comics. I'm pretty sure this was while the fires were ongoing, I think. Or like immediately after. I don't know. I don't think people would see this and think that this is super epic and hilarious just because it's focused on Newsom, especially when it's all based on lies too. But
once again, I obviously can't speak
for
the donut operator.
This is sure, but also wait, real quick.
I don't see him saying anything about like, oh man, these kids got struck by God. It was kind of just like, hey man, run your fucking city better.
Yeah, but I mean, like they also would make those jokes because like it doesn't make sense to make those types of jokes against left-leaning people either, right? They blame DEI and woke stuff, right? Because the people on the left apparently love DEI and woke. But people on the right will say shit like God saved Trump from the assassin by what? By guiding his bullet into the head of the firefighter? I don't know. That's what I'm going to joke about. I can't joke about like DEI with the right because they don't do DEI, right? Like you make the jokes that are more relevant to that group of people,
Yeah, I mean, I don't. I feel like people who, I don't know, like just the whole liberals versus conservatives. Conservatives do this, liberals do this. It's kind of hard to say what each side does in totality.
So this is okay. Well, it's not okay. So this is the issue. This is the real issue that I have. Okay, is that at the end of the day, people are getting mad about tweets or jokes. Like when I was on Piers Morgan, I said, like, how many kids did my tweet kill? Right, none. But when it comes to, there was a big hurricane in 2023.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie, you are.
What?
You just get me laughing, bro.
Good. I try. That's what I try to do. But listen, I think it was 2023, huge hurricane, okay, that went up Florida, Georgia, South and North Carolina, big hurricane. Reporters were asking, like governors, like, hey, like, how is the FEMA stuff going? And, they're like, oh, Biden called us last night, right? Like, Democrats don't fuck around with FEMA and aid. Like, it's immediately delivered. Like, there's no questions asked. Biden opened his pocketbooks. Whatever they needed from the federal government, they had it there. And there were, like, ex-special forces people who were literally in fucking, like, the Carolinas that were protecting neighborhoods from FEMA because they didn't want them to come and help them because they're worried that they would loan them $300 and steal their homes. And then when the California wildfires are blazing, Trump is talking about how he's not going to give California FEMA funds unless they change how they move their water around, And at the end of the day, nobody's getting mad at this stuff. But people get really mad at my jokes. And it's like, bro, one of these is like real world policy that is impacting whether or not people live or fucking die in these events. And then the other one is just people getting mad at my jokes. It's like, well, do we actually give a fuck at all? Because at that case, like the dead kids is just a performative thing that people can pretend to care about. But at the end of the day, when it comes to important shit, like voting for people who are going to actually fix this stuff, like it's all a joke. And that's the thing I guess that I have an issue with.
I feel like people are getting upset at everything equally. Maybe it's your algorithm.
What do you mean?
Like, I feel like people get upset at people. Hold up. Fuck, my brain is fucking all over the place.
Sure.
You talk too fucking much, man, before I can chime in. It's just too much to fucking take in. I'm trying to keep up with like 300 words.
My bad.
I feel like people aren't only getting angry at your jokes. I feel like they're getting at anybody who was like upset about that or taking light that situation while it was occurring. Am I crazy?
Yeah, maybe. But like, why not do something preventative then? Like, there are things that we can do preventative that conservatives fight about, and they don't want to do it. And then when the thing happens, then they expect us to care. And it's like, bruh. Like, I'm sure you've had a friend, we've all had a friend who's been too hung up on a girl, or, and they go to the group chat and they're like, oh, guys, I think I'm going to try again with my ex. And everybody's like rolling their eyes. And I was like, bruh, you've been hung up on this chick for like 4 years. Why are you so fucking retarded? And then he goes back and he's like, guys, it's going to work this time.
And I had a friend try to kill himself over a girl that he couldn't like get over.
Yeah, sure.
Pathetic.
Well, but the worst thing is when they do that, but then they go back to them, and then like 6 months later they crash out, and it's like, bro, like everybody's gonna roll their eyes, like, come on, bro. But like, imagine the guy comes back, he's like, I need you guys to take this super seriously, and I was like, well, bro, why are you going back to it? Like, we all told you this is fucking retarded, And I think the issue is a lot a lot of these issues are preventable, right? Like everybody knows that Texas's power grid had weird shit going on with it because of their inability to buy power or link up with other states, but like they didn't do anything. And then that snowstorm happens and fucking 200 people die. And it's like, okay, well, when there's ARPA funds that are like filling the coffers of all of these counties of Kerr County, and residents are going up to these, going up on these city council meetings, and they're like, we don't want to accept any of this money because Biden is going to force us to do DEI. And it's like, damn, that's crazy. And nobody seems to care about that or talk about that. But then when people start dying as a result of these systems failing, they're like, well, you can't make any jokes about it because that's the real bad thing. It's like, I wish you guys cared half as much about the actual policy.
I think it's very hard to get to an agreement on what jokes are allowed and what aren't. I think earlier you were saying that the point of telling edgy jokes is that they are edgy and they are going to bother some people. But I think it's just for very specific scenarios and nuance. It's when a tragedy is currently occurring, the people who are currently trying to prevent that tragedy probably aren't going to receive that joke.
But they're not preventing the tragedy. They're just responding afterwards to a tragedy that everybody told them was coming. Sure. And they took no steps to take preventative measures against. And then...
Sure. I just feel that preventing the... How do I say specifically? Because obviously 17 of the girls were found.
Okay.
Right? So at least preventing the total collapse in that disaster scenario. I just feel like there's a certain sensitivity that obviously you don't have to abide to. You have no obligation. Once again, I'm saying you have no obligation to abide.
But imagine if the same sensitivity would have existed when all the Kerr County residents were saying we don't want to accept money from Biden because we don't want DEI, vaccines, and wokeness to destroy our county. And now you don't have your siren warning system. Like Ted Cruz was literally on Piers 5 minutes before I was talking about how important it was to get that siren system up. I can link your YouTube video if you want. You can listen to these residents talking about how they don't want to accept the money because FEMA's going to use it to steal all their property and they're going to force DEI and woke on them. None of this is true. None of this happened. There's no way for this to even happen. And they had the money sitting in their bank account and they didn't put the sirens up, right? And so my tweets, as far as I'm aware, didn't kill anybody. But supporting these types of policies arguably did kill these people. And it's how are we caring more about my jokes than the actual policy itself? That's crazy to me.
I feel like we're talking about different things here because I feel like I really feel like we're just kind of doing both. One, I absolutely agree that once again, I'm not informed. If that were to be a thing that occurred where they say, hey, we don't want these sirens to tell us when floods are coming, because I believe it was a flash flood where I believe it was 32 feet of water over the course of 3:47 to 4:17 a.m. that swept through Christian's youth camp. If people were actively fighting and deterring people from actually getting preventative warning systems, well, that really fucking sucks.
Yeah.
But I think there's also a line where it's like, hey, man, we warned you, and now all these kids died, so now LOL XD, they're dead.
Sure, I understand what you're saying, but this is the same thing. Remember the example I gave at the very beginning where I said it's hard to talk about the magnitude thing, where I broke up with my ex because she, left a lot of shit around the house. She snored at night. She stabbed me 6 times, and she was mean to my mom, right? Where if I were to rattle that off, you'd be like, wait, one of these things seems really bad. I don't know why you just brought them up casually with the other 3 things, right? I feel like if I was surveying the total political landscape, and I'm like, okay, well, here you have $5 million sitting in a bank account that these citizens don't want to touch, even though it's already their money, because they're worried about the woke mob stealing their city or something because Biden is evil. And then you've got people like me making stupid jokes on Twitter, and that's where most of the anger is. It's like, okay, well, something is broken here.
I actually don't think most of the anger is targeted towards you. I think it was just a couple of guys.
Well, no, I'm just saying that none of the people that were mad at me cared that the amount of misinformation that's being spread is preventing people from doing things that will save their lives. I guess it's kind of separate. You can argue that this is a joke thing versus the policy thing, but I just don't understand. I mean, I do understand it. It's because people don't pay attention to the policy part of things. But again, this goes back to the you're getting mad at me. Well, not you're getting mad at me, right? But you're saying that it's kind of cold to be joking about dead kids. But then remember earlier, I'm like, well, it's kind of crazy to be voting for a president because he's funny, right? And if the standard for who's going to be president is the funniest guy, well, then fuck it. My standard for dealing with catastrophes, I guess, is going to be to make the worst joke, because that's where we're at politically now, right? Like, if we want to take policy and lives and saving people seriously, then we should take it seriously, like through and through. But it can't be like, well, we can't allow the bad jokes, but we can allow the bad policy. Like, one of these things is crazy. Bad policy is horrible, and bad jokes are like kind of bad, you know?
I feel like the comparison is a little bit silly, but this reminds me of something that I believe one of your homies said.
Well, here, just one quick thing, then you make your point. If you got rid of all of my bad jokes, 0 people would have been saved. If you changed the bad policy, then potentially half or more of the people would have heard the sirens and would have started moving immediately, right? So one of these things.
I want to make it very clear. Sure. Like, I absolutely do think if there was a way to change the policies in order to prevent that disaster from occurring, I think that'd be great. I didn't hear anything about anybody saying, "Oh, we shouldn't have this policy, this, that, and the other because of DEI." I didn't hear about anything about that.
If you get bored later, I shot you 2 links. You can either watch them later or watch them or whatever, but you can go through it later.
Sure.
Yeah, but, okay, sorry.
Sure. But I guess I live in a reality where I feel like I wish both had happened, but it's obviously like wishful thinking. I do wish that there was policies that could have prevented the travesty that occurred, and then I also think that maybe some people just handled the situation with a little bit more empathy. For I mean. I know the jokes wouldn't have been as funny, Destiny, but maybe like waiting a week once you don't have to do anything I fucking ask. But yeah, that's why people were so upset. But I guess a thing that I'm wondering for you is, I know in the political space, showing emotion is like weakness. Right.
I mean, it depends on what we're talking about. I think showing emotion is great. I think people should be emotional. They should care about,
in the political sphere, like if you get very angry, that means you lose. If you start crying, that means
some people think that. Yeah. Well, if you're crying, you're almost always losing. Yeah. Unless you're a white woman. Sorry. No, I mean, like it depends on. Course. Yeah, but I mean, generally, if you become unhinged, people say like, "Oh, he's mad, he loses" or something. Sure.
Yeah. And I see a lot of people in chat saying, I haven't addressed chat the entire time. But there's just a couple of people saying, "Only joke when I say so." I don't think anybody here thinks that's what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying, for a specific situation, when there's people on the scene attempting to help a tragedy that just occurred less than 24 hours, 48 hours ago, you should expect people to be upset if you're shitting on an active disaster scenario. I don't know why anybody would not expect that, because it's just annoying. It is just fucking annoying. It's really that simple.
Sure, but then you also have to. I mean, you have to have a little bit of empathy for the other side. That I don't know if you've ever seen like an enabler, like a horribly enabling friend, where somebody's making bad decisions and then somebody's enabling the fuck out of it, and then now that person is having the repercussions of their bad decision, and the person goes to like help them, and you're like, oh, good luck, dude, like and it's like, well, where's the empathy for me? It's like, I mean, bro, we all saw this coming. Everybody knew this was gonna happen, and now it's happening, and now you want us to be empathetic for you while you're fucking up. Like in every other circumstance, you'd say like have some responsibility.
If I were to, like, for example, I had a little sister who everybody knew this disaster that she was setting herself up for, warned them multiple times, and then the disaster happened. I didn't go, ha, told ya, you deserved it, retard. I said, well,
but I mean, you kind of, but
you go get ice cream?
No, you kind of did though, right? Because didn't you say earlier that if you had like family members in prison, you didn't give a fuck about them, that they deserved it? Isn't it the same thing?
Oh yeah, because they did that not once, not twice, not 3 times, not 4 times. This family member specifically has been in jail more than they've been out of jail since 15.
Okay, so if they do it enough, then you don't care? Well, I mean, like, but that's fair, sure, I guess.
Absolutely.
Sure.
If they do it enough, I'm like, okay, dude. I don't know how many times Texas has said, man, fuck these libs and these DEI trannies. I don't want any of their fucking money. Yeah. I don't know how many times they've done that, personally. But I guess at a certain time, if that
they have done it over and over and over and over and over again. That's the issue, right?
Yeah. That's where like the difference of our knowledge. You say that you're a very informed person. I don't know how many times they've done that. I would struggle to think of more than one time that you just told me that they've done that. If that is a repeat occurrence, then absolutely, maybe we should put our fucking egos aside and really work on the policies that make this country safer. That way tragedies like this don't occur.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, just obviously, I mean,
arguably it's happening right now again with the vaccine thing, right? Where you're having these people in Texas, there's not many now, there's single digits, but like dying of measles. And it's like kids in the United States shouldn't be dying of measles. This is a crazy thing. That's a crazy crash out if your kid is dying from measles in the United States. And it's like, we don't care, I guess, when it's 2, but what if it's like 10 or 100? And it's like, just so you know, I'm giving you preview, okay? I'm giving you a heads up. If like 100 kids next year in Texas die from measles, I'm gonna be making jokes about it. There's gonna be like connect the dot coloring book jokes I'm gonna be making about kids die, because it's like, bro, this is the most preventable fucking thing in the world. And if people don't care enough to do something about it right now, well, I'm not gonna care enough to make jokes about it when the bad shit happens, you know?
I'm Googling how many people are dying from measles.
I think it's 3 so far in the United States. I think 2 were in Texas. So, but I'm saying right now it's not huge right now, but like the numbers are growing, and it's like it's super preventable. It's just a super preventable, easy thing to not have happen. You know, like Jesus.
I feel like it was like with only 3 people dying, you know, from like a thing that affects everybody. It's probably like not too big of an issue to worry about, don't you think?
For now, but then it's going to become like, how do things become an issue, right? Like, you know, that like a person who weighs, if a person weighs 400 pounds,
billions of people, though, it's like pretty hard to focus on.
It's not. It's very easy because people aren't getting vaccinated, right? There's over 1,400, 500 cases now, right? And then this just grows and grows and grows and grows and grows, right?
Absolutely will.
Like, not to be mean, but like 200 dead kids in Texas is also like a drop in the bucket compared to 340 million people in the United States. Who cares, right? But you wouldn't say that because
I think the staggering number is because it was a natural disaster versus a contagious disease.
What is measles if not natural? If anything, measles is more natural than having a campsite in the middle of a fucking riverbed, no?
No, I'm saying a natural disaster. I'm not claiming that measles isn't natural. I'm saying a natural disaster, like a hurricane, an earthquake, you know, like a flood. You know, it's a natural disaster.
Sure. I mean, I heard a lot. Now, maybe this is before the time of, I don't know, everyone in chat or maybe you, but like a lot of people were making fun of black people in New Orleans that died from Katrina. But I mean, but that's a separate time and a separate thing. But
Katrina, that was a while ago.
Yeah.
Well, that was like what? Was that like in 5th grade back then? That was a long ass time. I think I was in Hurricane Katrina when that shit happened. That was in Virginia, no? Or was that like more than that?
Wait, what?
Was it Hurricane Katrina? Was that in the United States or am I crazy?
Yeah, it was in the U.S.
Yeah, was that in the Virginia area or no?
It might have made it all the way up there, but the huge damage was in Louisiana. That was the New Orleans. That was when Kanye West was on TV and he was like, George Bush hates black people or something.
Yeah, I think I was 7 when that happened. Let me actually Google that. Did Hurricane Katrina hit Virginia? I remember hearing about this shit forever ago. Hurricane.
It might have made it because some of the really big hurricanes will get quite a ways through the U.S., but they're significantly weaker by the time they get up there. But
oh yeah, it did. It did hit Virginia. Over 2 million households in Virginia lost power due to that. Okay, so I'm not fucking crazy.
Mm-hmm.
20 deaths in Virginia. True, it's like 3 to measles. But yeah, what I'm just saying is that like. We were talking about the measles and
yeah, you're saying one was a natural disaster, yeah.
Yeah, because I don't think COVID classifies as a natural disaster. It's just like a contagious disease. But yeah, no, I absolutely think that everybody should be vaccinating their kids to prevent, you know, contagious diseases. Yeah, but I think the reason why people aren't taking this seriously right now is because while it does have the significance to outbreak. Wait, are people not taking measles seriously?
No, people are anti because ever since people lost their mind on the COVID vaccines, which also led to the deaths of hundreds of thousands of people that conservatives don't care about. Yeah. But ever since the COVID vaccines, now people are like turning against all vaccines. RFK just canceled like 30 different vaccine research things in the United States, which is also really sad. Now people also aren't taking like the measles vaccines in a lot of places now. So measles was eradicated from the United States, and now we have like over 1,500 cases in the U.S. Like it was gone, and now it's back.
How did it come back?
Because people didn't vaccinate their kids. So if some person brings it into the country or whatever, and now people are starting to get infected, like it'll start to become endemic, I guess, or it'll start to spread more, and it'll be like a disease that'll be widespread in the United States at some point if people continue to not get vaccinated.
Okay, just for my final question.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you telling me this? I'm trying to figure out how the fuck we got here, because I obviously believe that people should vaccinate their kids.
Because
I have no idea why you're telling me this.
No, I know. Well, I know exactly. I'm trying to figure out how to phrase it nicely. Yeah. I don't care about people who get mad about bad jokes when they're doing really bad actions. That's the thing that's bothering me, is the magnitude of the response that conservatives as a whole, and because earlier you said like, well, Trump is a funny guy, so fuck it. It's like, well, sure, but then like if you think that Trump is a funny guy, we're going to vote for him. I'm not going to give a fuck about making some jokes about dead kids if like the policies that Trump is enacting are leading to the deaths of like hundreds of thousands of people. That's not even touching like USAID and foreign bodies or whatever, right? But just in the United States alone, from like vaccine related stuff, let alone any other health related stuff, let alone any other DACA stuff or whatever else. I'm just saying like it can't be this many policies that are leading to death And then it's like, but the jokes are so bad. Like, I don't take that very seriously. That's how I view it now.
Sure. Yeah. No. And once again, I never came into this conversation thinking that I was going to change your mind about, hey, Destiny, be more sensitive, because I don't think that you're a guy who has. I don't think that you're an emotional guy. I think I've seen your content for over probably like 5 years on and off, and I don't think I've even ever seen you change your voice ever, besides whenever you crash out. But I've never heard you sound sad. I've never sound you sound in distress at all. I feel like you have a neutral mode and then you have an angry mode.
Sure.
But yeah, I just feel like in the same vein where it's like, absolutely, I don't give a fuck about what happens in the president. But I understand that people are going to crash the fuck out over me when I do that. Just like when I wore a MAGA hat as a joke, I understand that people are going to crash the fuck out on me, and I accept that. Just like in the same way that I think that, while I don't think you have any obligation to stop joking about dead kids if you think it's funny, I just feel like accepting the fact that you are going to piss people off is just kind of just like the norm.
Wait, repeat that last thing again?
Well, like, if you make jokes about dead kids, people are probably going to be mad.
Oh, fine, sure. But if Donald Trump and conservatives' putting policies are leading to dead kids, I mean, then they don't really have any place to complain. And that's what I'll keep saying.
Hey, man, trust me, once again, this was, I already knew that there was no way that I was going to come in here and say, I'm going to make Destiny feel bad for these. I already knew that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah. It's all good. Wait, why do you stream so fucking early? You're on vampire time. What the fuck? You stream from like 9 a.m. to fucking noon? What the fuck?
Yeah, I stream at 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. every day, unless I have a tummy ache. But the reason why I stream early is because I like waking up with the sun. It's nice. It makes me feel like I have control over my life, and I feel like people who stay up at night are generally less productive. But I do shit nonstop. So like the moment that I end stream here, I'm going to go to the gym immediately and just start lifting. But yeah, it's just good for productivity, and also the sun feels good.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, I think it's a good reason.
So another question I had here is that I'm trying to figure out how to formulate this. You were banned on Twitch. What do you currently think about the state of Twitch and their double standards with the, I guess, the way they enforce the things that Hassan says, as well as his little orbiter crew?
I mean, like I said before, I think there's a culture on a lot of internet places of kind of like this very, very, very socialist ideology. And as long as you back it, you can basically say or do whatever you want and you'll be okay. I think it's kind of unhinged.
If you were unbanned on Twitch, would you stream on this platform again?
Yeah, I probably would.
I've been told that you getting banned on Twitch, would you say it's the worst thing that's ever happened to you?
No, I'm like a cockroach. I always survive somehow. I've been streaming for like 16 years and I'm still doing okay, so.
Yeah. What else do you want to talk about?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I have anything.
Here's a question I want to ask.
Yeah.
So I often get told that you struggle to make friends.
No, I don't think so. I think having friends in the streamer world is really weird. Over the past year, especially, I've made more real life friends. Streamer stuff is just insanely. It's crazy because I had a foot in the real world before I got into streaming stuff, and then I got into streaming stuff. I realized how weird the streaming stuff is. But I guess I forgot how crazy the streaming world is compared to my real life world now. Yeah. So most of my friends are not real life friends. I don't trust streamers at all. Streamers are horrible, fucking crazy people. Jesus.
Like, if you were to give me like top 5 like horrible streamers.
Top 5, I wouldn't be able to do it, but there's just so much social pressure to like shit on different people depending on, and it's just very upsetting to me. It pisses the fuck off for me. For one example, for instance, do you know what Turkey Tom is?
Yeah, I know Turkey Tom, yeah.
So because of his connections, I got an invite. So me and a friend of mine met up with him and Donut Operator and a ton of other people. I think Brandon Herrera, Wendigo, I think we're all there to go shooting in Austin, San Antonio, I don't know, someplace over there in Texas. And we went. I thought we had a really good time. It was really interesting watching Donut and his son interact. because I saw a lot of the relationship between me and my son with the way those two interacted. It was funny because Donut, like I would consider Donut, if you have like a YouTube dad, I feel like he does a cool thing, right? He shoots guns, he seems like a cool guy, but his son was like, oh yeah, I don't know, he's kind of lame or whatever. I thought it was really funny watching the interaction. I had a lot of fun with the guys. We had a lot of fun at dinner. There were like jokes. I remember on the last night where I think it was Wendigoon was saying shit like, oh, like I thought you were gonna be like a crazy lefty. I was like, no, I'm a pretty normal dude. And it was annoying that after the that Trump failed assassination attempt where, you know, God delivered the bullets into the firefighter instead of Trump's head, I made jokes about it on Twitter, and all of a sudden, people do this so much. Ludwig tried to do this to me too about the cheese puff shit. Donut Operator starts tweeting. He's like, yeah, when Destiny hung out with us, it was super lame, and his girl wanted to fuck us the whole time, and it was so fucking lame. I'm like, why would you rewrite a real life interaction with me? Like, you can just say you don't like me now. That's fine. I don't know why you have to lie about our interactions in real life. But that type of shit just like irritates the fucking me.
Did she want to?
No, it doesn't even, like, no, it was just weird comments. You're trying to make some kind of like weird cuck joke or whatever. But yeah, I guess it's just kind of disappointing that so many people, I guess, like take shit so seriously online or are so cucked to their audiences that like I can say openly, I disagree with Donut Operator and probably all those guys on their political opinions, but I had fun hanging out with them, right? I can have a lot of different friends with different political opinions, but because they're so cucked to their audiences, they have to say that I was literally fucking Hitler in real life too. And it's like, Jesus, I don't know, why not just fucking chill?
I think I would describe any of those guys as cucked to their audience, to be honest. I would not say
they are
that.
Absolutely cucked to their audience. 1 trillion %. Why else would he rewrite a real life interaction with me? You should ask him personally next time you see him. What was it like when you guys hung out? You should ask him. There's videos of us shooting and everything. I don't know. Ask him.
I mean, here's the thing. As a guy who's in an open relationship, you're denying the entire possibility that maybe your girl just did want to fuck them.
No, we were all hanging out. Like, I was there. She was there. I could get a statement from her if you wanted. I mean, like, what the fuck?
Is it the same girl that you're with right now or no? Oh, never mind. Fuck, can't
yeah. No, but like, I mean, like, she saw the comments too, and she was like, it's really gross. It was just weird. Yeah, they were just weird comments. Like, we were all just there, like, hanging out. It's not like we were all, like, sharing hotel rooms with each other or anything. Yeah.
Well, I guess I'll leave that to you guys to figure out. Me personally, that is a shame because I feel like those guys, and I know those guys are very good people, and I would hardly describe them with a cuck to their audiences. They've been nothing but good, and they've
yeah. But this is like one of the things that triggers me the most is because going back to the thing I said earlier, because everything has gotten so fucking political, and everybody has these like hardcore political like alignments on everything that it's hard for people to have friends across the aisle or friends from different parts of the political spectrum. And before, I think some of that was the fault of like the wokies, but the wokies were, for all their faults, the wokies were like crazy college kids and like these weirdos fucking online. Like the vast majority of center-left Democrats you meet in the real world also think those people are fucking cringe, right? Most people think those people are cringe, but the MAGA stuff is like 95% of fucking Republicans. And it's like, Jesus. And I don't know, it just feels like it's infected so much real world shit.
You think 95% of Republicans are like MAGA infested, like brain rotted individuals?
I don't know if I'd say brain rotted, but like super MAGA. Like again, I'm not being personal, but like you were able to give me perfectly the tariff talking points, and you're not even that plugged into political talk. So somehow all the MAGA stuff is doing such a great job making the rounds through the entirety of all of the online and real life like MAGA movement that, yeah, it seems like it's captured a lot like of the minds of a lot of people that are just on that.
What's crazy is I can't even remember what I said. I just kind of just think of things and then I think this what I just said is like the common sense take. Am I crazy? I don't think I have to hear those talking points from anybody to understand like what both sides' objectives are. It's just kind of like obvious what like the tariffs are like trying to do.
I think
maybe
I understand.
I did a really good job.
Well,
maybe
no, I understand. I would say no because what tariffs are known to do is to be detrimental to your economy all the time. Every economist in the world agrees that tariffs suck. Like the points that you gave me about tariffs are the MAGA talking points for tariffs. Nobody likes tariffs from an economic perspective. These are like things that you suffer through because of political reasons, or if you want to achieve some other end, like we need to tariff this for like national security reasons, but not because it's good for our economy. But also there are things that I think like you might think are quote unquote common sense, but it's just because of the particular media that we watch that some things seem more obvious than others, but then from a different perspective they don't seem to be as common sense, or people have common sense opinions that go in the other direction, you know?
Yeah, I would also think that maybe saying 100% of economists agree that tariffs are bad is probably just like not true.
Okay, it's probably like 98% of economists agree.
Yeah, you see, like, right? So maybe
but
I'm part of the 2%.
but 90% of Republicans think that the 2020 election was stolen, and the majority of people that were dying from COVID in hospitals were unvaccinated Republicans. And the majority of people not getting their children vaccinated for measles are conservatives. Like, those are numbers that are all real and true.
I just feel like 62% of 70% of statistics are bullshit and made up on the spot.
I mean, we can look at voting stuff. We can look at polling data. We can look at...
Yeah, it's just, there's just a lot of numbers flying around, man. It's making my head hurt.
Okay.
Anyways, you play like any video games?
I used to, but I haven't in the last year and a half. I've been doing politics more seriously. Other than I did a Factorio run through.
That was a long ass time.
I mean,
that Factorio playthrough you did, that shit was a long fucking time.
Yeah?
Yeah, I remember watching that shit. Yeah, I think that's like pretty much everything I wanted to say.
Okay. Do you play games besides gacha game things?
Oh, I haven't touched a gacha game in a long time.
Do you play any games now, or what do you do normally?
I'm a big gym rat now, which is nice. And I got this dog. Do you got a dog?
Fuck no.
You should get a dog.
Fuck no. I just don't want to take care of an animal. I think they're cute, but...
You have a cat?
No.
You seem like a cat guy.
I think cats are cute, and I like big and medium dogs.
I think it's very interesting that you don't like pets.
I like them. I just want to take care of one, and so I'm not going to get a pet. Like, I can't even have time for a real like monogamous relationship. Why would I fucking buy a pet? And I travel a lot, and like I don't have time of I think they're fine. Like, if I wasn't streaming and I was doing other work, maybe I would get like a cat or like a medium dog. Maybe I like them. I think pets are cute. I think they're cool. I like playing with other people's pets.
I'm playing Dark Souls 2 right now.
Ooh, some people don't like that one.
No, the people who don't like it don't understand the game. It's actually quite good. No, it is. It is very, very, very good. It's the exact same game as every other Dark Souls, but you just have to put 20 points into adaptability, and then it's the same fucking game.
Okay, that's a take.
Yeah, I mean it's true. Like, there is literally no difference. Okay, let me remember, because so you have to level 20 for adaptability is what you get to, because then you have 99 agility, which means you have the same amount of iframes as you do in the normal Souls games. And then, as well as, you need to understand that the lock in the Souls 2 game isn't a hard lock, it's a soft lock. And then, other than that, it's the same fucking game.
I think the reason why people don't like, without getting into the game shit too much, the reason why people don't like Dark Souls 2 is because I think they feel like the level design and the setups for enemies and bosses was more fair and more interesting for Dark Souls 1 and 3. So in Dark Souls 2, I think you have more scenarios where, like, you walk into a room and it's just because of camera angles, there's an enemy right to the right that comes down with an axe, and you're like, oh, cool, I just got hit or knocked off a platform. Like, whoop-de-fucking-do. Or it's like, oh, Dark Souls 2, here's a boss. Oh my god, here's a harder boss. It's 2 of the last boss. Wow. Like, I think that was popping up a lot more in DS2, and people were like, oh, this is strange.
It's Scholar of the First Sin addresses a lot of the issues with the mob positioning. It's honestly really not that hard.
What is Scholar of the First Sin?
Scholar of the First Sin is the complete edition, where the mob placement was adjusted as well as the DLC was implemented into the game.
Oh. Wait, can we agree on this one thing? Here's one thing that should never exist in any more From Software games, and I don't know why they put this in. I don't know who likes these. I don't know why, but it feels like every Souls game or Souls-like game, Bloodborne, all these things, have a level or an area that's like poison marsh.
Swamp.
Why? Who likes that? Who's that for? Does anybody like this?
Miyazaki likes people watching people play it.
Okay. It's just pain.
Yeah, no, it sucks. But I guess one more thing is I am very curious. So you've completely given up, because as a guy who's also given up on trying to make friends in the content creation space, what was the moment for you where you just said I'm good?
I mean, I've had a low expectation of content creators for a long time. So, yeah. Basically, since I started doing politics in 2016, I fought a lot of right-leaning people, but then I also... Have you ever heard of something called Shit Reddit Says?
Yes.
Yeah, so those people witch hunted the fuck out of my career. And it was just trying to fight people on the right and the left was very annoying. And if you don't map cleanly onto a certain political community, there's always a lot of virtue to be found in attacking me. So it seems like every friend I have online, this has been this probably for like 10 or 15 years. Probably for the past 10 years. On the political space, it's just somebody waiting to flip eventually. When you have a big moment, there's going to be a group of people who are ready to welcome them with open arms. So maybe in like the gaming space, maybe it'd be different. I don't know if I feel that way about the friends I made playing StarCraft 2. Like, it's not like those people all became crazy backstabbers or anything. So maybe it's just like the political world is cringe like that. But everything's becoming political. So
as a guy who doesn't do politics or debates like ever, I will say, man, dude, the moment we started talking about the joke thing, dude, chat fucking went nuts. I don't have your chat pulled up, but that was like, that's just way too much, man.
Sure.
Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like the conversation really was not that deep, and motherfuckers just be getting fucking like just luge and shit. I don't really think I have the whole want to even have to fucking deal with people getting that angry over politics shit, man. It is wild. I mean, I get it when it's like from person to person. Like, if you knew these motherfuckers doing this shit, it's like, okay, I get it. But I guess I don't see it when it's like people on the internet. Anyways, it's fucking exhausting. This is why I just play video games and then I just make fun of people. Yeah, I think you have a very good way of representing your views, which is very odd because even when I don't agree with them, I'm glad that I at least understand your point of view, regardless at the end of the day.
yeah, I mean, hopefully I try. I'm a political communicator, so hopefully I can communicate them pretty well.
Yeah. Man, that just sounds that just sounds really fucking sad. Like, that just sounds fucking miserable, bro. I'm not gonna fucking lie. Like, being in politics 24/7 just sounds fucking miserable. Like, do you like what you do?
Yeah, I mean, there's pros and cons. I mean, I like researching topics and having, when I can, having in-depth debates over policy and stuff. But it's kind of also free content, right? Like, every day there's always stuff going on, so you don't have to think like, oh fuck, what am I going to cover today? Do I have to play some boring game today? Like, there's always shit going on politically too. So yeah, I think it's fun.
Do you think it's right for a viewer to not want to like trust a certain streamer because they're audience locked by the chat that they or the political party that they often find themselves aligning with? Because I've heard you say a lot of faults with conservatives, but I haven't heard you say any faults with Dems or libs.
Do you think it's so like if somebody seems like too partisan or whatever?
Yeah.
I mean, like, I have faults. I think there are faults with Democrats, but I mean, it just depends on I mean, right now I align way more ideologically with Democrats than I do with Republicans, so the Republican faults are going to come up a lot more. I mean, I would say at the end of the day, people want to argue about things. I mean, like, I publish all my notes online. Like, you can sometimes come by my stream at like 7 p.m. and I'm like researching the most boring fucking shit in the world with 3,000 viewers. Like, I mean, like, I put in the work and I do the debate research, and if somebody wants to argue with me, there's a reason why like people generally avoid having debates with me on these topics. There's a reason why like Hassan is like petrified to ever confront me and is instead just like behind his little paywall, screaming about how I'm retarded on Israel-Palestine. Yeah, I mean, that's all I can say. At the end of the day, try to look at who's more willing to confront people with facts. Yeah.
I do think, like, for example, I do think when you make your entire personality and content creation structure about being political, I do think you have a certain, man, I'm really red. Do you see my head?
Yeah.
That's really fucking red. Holy shit. That's what happens when I'm thinking way too hard.
That's good. Okay.
I do think that when you do make your entire gimmick that I do politics, I do think you should be more open to talking to other people. And this is kind of the reason why I really don't enjoy the political space too much, is because I found out that when you're a politician, slander isn't illegal. Defamation isn't illegal. And you can say whatever about anybody, which is why I feel like every single time there's a new slur that drops, that Donald Trump is called a rapist and a pedophile. And hey, you know what? There's a chance that he is on the Epstein list. But like any type of figure in the political space is a rapist, they're a murderer, they're a fucking manipulator, they're an abuser. I don't know. I mean, Destiny, I've heard that you fucked kids. I've heard so much shit about you. I don't know what the fuck the truth is. And I feel like that space is exhausting to be in. Mm-hmm. It's gotten to a point where like, I think allegations about anybody just can no longer be taken seriously.
Well, but I mean, I think that's why, like, at some point, people have to be willing to like go to dig through the actual facts, and it seems like that's the thing that a lot of people are unwilling to do now, which is very frustrating, I think. And I think that one of the ways you can tell if people have actually dug through the facts is whether or not they're willing to confront other people. So, like, I would debate any conservative in the world or any leftist in the world on Israel-Palestine, or on, like, lab leak for COVID, or for vaccine-related stuff, or for foreign policy. Like, any individual in the world, I'll do it on any platform. But like when other people, like Hassan, right, will religiously and ardently avoid any confrontation. Or like Asmongold probably wouldn't have a confrontational conversation on a lot of this stuff. A lot of the big conservative figures nowadays won't have confrontational conversations on this stuff. Like I feel like that should at least give somebody pause. Like, I'm not saying you have to become a super liberal and believe everything I say, but if like you listen to a guy whose mainstay content is politics, like imagine if you followed a pro gamer who never, you know, like 1v1 anybody, who never like actually competed. Right?
I don't think Asmongold falls into the category of like dedicated political streamer. I just think he's a guy who just like laughs at Donald Trump.
I mean, Asmongold's content is all politics now and has been for 6 months, right?
But like, I think he's doing it because he just like kind of does like the trendy stuff.
Sure,
right?
but I mean, like, it's still politics, no? Like, politics is trendy right now because Donald Trump is president, right?
Sure, but I think there's a difference between someone who's enjoying talking about politics and I am a political streamer who only does this. I never game.
Wait, has
like
Asmongold gamed in the past, like,
streamer.
well, hasn't Asmon gamed in the past year? Doesn't he only do politics now?
No, he does a fuck ton of gaming.
Okay, I must miss all of it. Like, I feel like if I go look at his YouTube channel right now, the past, like, 100 videos are all politics.
No. I mean, he does a ton of fucking gaming shit. He just did Black Myth Wukong, Expedition 33.
Didn't that Wukong game? Wait, didn't that come out like a year ago?
I think Black Myth Wukong it was Game of the Year last year. Yes. It was more on the tail end of the last time it was elected, but then there was also Claire Expedition 33, which is more recent. There's also the new Souls game that just came out with the one chick. There was also the Met game that just came out. He also just did Battlefield 6. You know what I mean? Like, the guy does a lot more than just politics, right? He does a lot of fucking shit.
I guess when I look at his channel, so like I see there's 5 politics videos, and then I tried Battlefield 6 again. The politics videos are 1 million, 1.3 million, 1.1 million, 1 million, 760K, and then the Battlefield 3 video is 360K.
For sure. I mean, like, just because you don't get views, it mean that didn't happen. It's also like that YouTube to justify what his content creation is kind of like skewed due to the fact that he doesn't run the YouTube. He's just streams on Twitch, and then his editor does all that for him. And obviously, the editors are going to push out whatever gets the most views.
Sure. I feel like he's probably the largest politics streamer in the world right now.
Sure. Well, like for example, let me give you a good example of this. Just because Beerus is the most powerful character in Dragon Ball Z, that doesn't make him the main character of the anime.
Just because who?
Beerus. He's the god of destruction in Dragon Ball Z.
Is this Dragon Ball Z or is this Dragon Ball fucking whatever super weird shit you guys watch now? Yeah, okay.
Dragon Ball
Super.
Super.
Dragon Ball Z. Okay, this is non-canon weird shit that you Zoomers like now. Okay.
But like, just because someone gets more viewers than everybody else doesn't mean that that's their whole shtick.
Sure, I can understand it might not be their whole shtick. Yeah. But like, like Gohan, like is a halfie, but like
go on, yeah.
He's always a Saiyan, right? But like he's mainly like that's the important part about him, right?
Well, actually, okay, so it sucks that you don't know this. So in Dragon Ball Super, the reason why Gohan is so powerful is because he's human, and his studies actually get him to power spike to Gohan Beast.
Okay, sure, but how many other humans, like if we were to, even in Dragon Ball Super, maybe in Super they changed the lore a lot, but in Super collectively, if you collect all the Saiyans and all the humans, like how many other strong humans are there? Are you telling me Yamcha is super powered in fucking Dragon Ball Super?
Oh, let's see. Okay,
or is Krillin strong in Dragon Ball Super?
So the strongest beings in the universe right now, would actually, I think the strongest character in Dragon Ball Super right now is actually Beerus, who's a cat. And then there's Whis, who's like a gay elf dude. And then there's Black Frieza, they're an alien. And then there's Broly. There's actually barely any humans at all.
Was Broly? He was a Saiyan, wasn't he?
Broly is a Saiyan, yes. He is a Saiyan, yes.
Yeah. See, so fuck, there's no humans.
Yeah, but I would describe like people like Sean DeBlack or Denims or
as Saiyans. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, no, Sean DeBlack can't. He's black. There's no black Saiyans. And then Hassan's a political commentator. You're a political commentator. What's that other guy? Nick Fuentes. By the way, why is everybody telling me that? Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. Like those are like political commentators, but Asmon, he's just like a guy for me. That's why I like Asmon. I like hearing him talking about politics because I know he doesn't really have to a lot. I shouldn't talk about Asmon. It's not my place to say.
Sure.
Anyways.
Yeah. I mean, like if this person has the biggest reach, this person has the most influence, and this person is influencing the most amount of people, like it seems like a political commentator, you know? Like, even if they don't want to be one, like, they have the same impact as one than anyone could, you know?
I without glazing too much here, you gotta understand, I love my friends. I really do. I love the people who've done.
I'm not
good
telling
by
you to
me
shit talk
all
anyone.
over.
I'm just saying, like, he's the largest politics creator, like, yeah, that's all I'm saying.
What I'm saying is, it's,
for better or for worse. I'm saying it's good or bad, yeah.
It's not Asmon's fault that he's so much better at everybody, at something where people want to hear his uninformed words over someone who makes it his life goal. You know what I mean? It's like it's not his fault that everybody wants to hear what he says about shit that he doesn't really know what he's talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Sure, but I mean, that doesn't change the fact then that he is, right? Like I could probably find, I'm sure there are a number of games on Twitch, if I go to the categories, that have like less than 10,000 concurrent viewers between every single streamer, and I could just start talking about that game every day. And like, even if I'm not a person who plays that game, at some point people are going to associate me with it, and then my words are going to carry a lot of weight in that community just because of the viewership, right? So that would be a thing I would have to consider, you know?
But if Kai Cenat were to all of a sudden just start talking about Donald Trump, that wouldn't make him a political streamer. That would just mean he's a guy who just happened to be talking about political stuff because it's relevant right now.
If he was doing it full time and he had like 100 YouTube videos and 95 of the last 100 videos were about politics, yeah, I'd say, yeah, this is basically a politics guy. Yeah, you know?
I don't think that's what's happening. Am I crazy? I feel like that's just not what's happening.
If I were to pull up Asmongold's YouTube channel, what percentage of his viewership on his YouTube do you think comes from politics? My guess would be 90%, maybe more.
But I also think the big difference with Asmon's reactions is, I don't think anybody would have watched those politics if Asmon wasn't reacting to it. Right? I think they're just watching it because Asmon's doing it.
That's part of it. But I mean, that's also kind of true for my stuff as well. And that's true for Hassan's stuff too, right? It's kind of hard to separate, you know, like Hassan has the same politics as fucking Frogan and Denims and all these other losers, and these guys don't get the same viewership that Hassan gets, right?
Listen, to be fair, if you start playing Battlefield 6, if you start playing the Souls games, I will not refer to you as a political commentator. I'll say you're a gamer.
Look, first of all, I'm the only pro gamer of all these guys. I was a professional StarCraft 2 player, okay? I got more gamer creds than all these motherfuckers, all right?
Were you?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Does anybody else know that besides you? Who else knows that?
I was in Poland for 3 months with some gaming group. I went to South Korea to train for a month. Yeah, what do you mean? I played tourneys and shit. I focused on streaming more, but yeah, the fuck? I was a StarCraft 2 ladder hero and fucking semi-pro, yeah.
It's like hearing you talk about people who you don't like. That's pretty much the only content that I, consumed.
Well.
Yeah. Anyways. Hey, good for you, man. StarCraft 2, that's big.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, that's awesome. Why'd you give up on that?
Well, the game kind of died, and I focused more on the streaming side of things because I didn't want to die when the game died.
No, I guess I did the same
I shouldn't say the game died. That's not fair. But other games became more popular, yeah.
I think it's very fair to say that StarCraft 2 died. Am I crazy?
Well, I don't want to shut on the game or the community. But other like companies started to come up that were paying a lot more attention to making their game like esports accessible and shit. Like Riot was the big one that came up and did it. And then other companies like invested a lot more in their esports stuff, and Blizzard kind of didn't do much with it. Blizzard's kind of, I don't know how much you're into Blizzard games, but Blizzard's kind of fallen off a bit.
Played World of Warcraft for 12 years.
Okay, yeah. The WoW is like the one big thing they still have. There hasn't been the WoW killer yet. But Blizzard used to be like the best in slot for every game type. They had like the two best RTSs. Yeah, it was Warcraft and it was StarCraft, and like Diablo 2 was the best. I guess I don't know. People call it different things or whatever. Now Path of Exile is probably better.
Well, now it's more so about Riot Games. Riot Games is kind of the new Blizzard.
Well, wait, what the fuck else does Riot have besides League right now?
Fucking Valorant.
Oh, fuck me. True. God, I hate that game.
Yeah, they had Valorant. They also had, oh shit, fuck. It's Legend of Runeterra, which I'm not gonna lie. Legend of Runeterra was better than Hearthstone, but Hearthstone was just way more established. Yeah, they're about to have 2XKO, which will probably be like the new like best fighting game. They also have Valorant completely obliterated Overwatch, I think. And then Marvel Rivals obliterated Overwatch. But yeah, pretty much every game that Riot touches does very well. They also have Teamfight Tactics, which is fucking amazing.
Oh, is TFT still played a lot?
Yeah, I feel like you'd really like TFT.
I played a little long time ago, but
yeah, there's also a new game coming out called Arknights Enfield that's like Factorio. that I think you'd like as well.
From Riot?
No, this is from Hypergriff. Completely different.
Okay.
Yeah, and the MMO is coming out really soon too, probably.
That'll be interesting. Do you play... Wait, did you ever play Final Fantasy 14?
I played the fuck out of 14, and then I quit because streaming it's fucking miserable.
Wait, did you like 14 more or less than World of Warcraft?
No MMO is ever going to be World of Warcraft. It's just not going to fucking happen.
Are you like a
14 was
retail
good.
guy or are you like a WoW Classic guy?
I did both. I played from vanilla to Battle for Azeroth, and then I stopped playing. And then I played Classic WoW. I did OnlyFangs, where I was top 3 DPS in the entire guild, but then everybody was so fucking gay in that guild. I just couldn't deal with that shit, and I just dipped. After, obviously being the #1 casual gamer in the guild, doing the most damage.
Did you take a strong position on the Pirate Software retreat from the dungeon with the Ice Mage shit or whatever?
I have a very strong position towards Pirate Software that fucks me over every day. Because in that position, Pirate Software did nothing wrong in the position where he ran out during that dungeon. However, the way he handled himself afterwards was the error that he made. But I think a lot of people in that guild were like desperate to make a villain, and Pirate Software absolutely fucked up, but that's not where he fucked up. When your leader says run, you run. That's what you do. When another guy says, no, not even, the leader of that group didn't just say run. He said run, 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 run. If your leader ever says run 5 fucking times, where you could lose 300 hours of gameplay, there's no way I'm going to stop and come back because one guy says, well, we can save 45 seconds if we kill all these mobs right now.
Wait. Hold on, just to check. Were you like an arena player? Did you raid with big teams and stuff?
Mythic Raider, I got many cutting edges, many ahead of the curves. I did like no arena at all.
Okay. I guess I feel like, because my experience is only in things like DayZ and shit, I never played anything else. But I feel like when people say, even for like League, I feel like when somebody says like run, 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 it's not like ever like every man for himself. Like generally you still have people who are like CCing, are still managing like, like crowd control and stuff as you're retreating and everything. It's not literally just drop it. Because if somebody's saying run, 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 and that's everybody's interpretation, then what you're really saying is like, my guess is going to be like tanks and DPS are dying. And then everybody else is getting fucked. Like, and whoever's in the back like CCing or whatever is going to escape. That'd be my assumption. I don't play any WoW at all, but I feel like if you're retreating, it's always going to be like a measured retreat. That would be my feeling.
A guy who's hyper analyzed that clip so many fucking times, he did cast Blizzard and then canceled it before it even applied. He played terribly.
Sure.
He absolutely
I think the big issue wasn't that Pirate Software like condemned the whole group to death and he fucked up. Maybe he could have played better. I think the issue was just him at the end, like refusing to accept any responsibility doing anything wrong whatsoever.
100%.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. No, 100%. I'm saying the same thing here. He didn't fuck up when he ran because obviously nobody should be expected to play perfectly.
Sure.
And when you have that much on the line, because you got to understand, as a guy who's done OnlyFangs.
Oh, yeah, and especially for smaller streamer, although he's not a smaller streamer, but like, yeah, dying and losing all that and not getting any of the content, you're not getting to do any of the dungeons, you have to fucking I imagine that's horrible, yeah.
Dude, I was so afraid during OnlyFangs, I legit had to lay on my floor because I had a heart rate monitor on. My heart rate went to 147 because I thought I was about to lose a character that I had 250 hours in. So I'm not going to expect anybody to play perfectly. However, he should have said, yeah, guys, I fucked up, because he did. He didn't play well at all.
Okay, yeah. I feel like that's a normal take, sure. Okay.
But I also think the problem with OnlyFangs is that a lot of those socially inept streamers don't know what to talk about unless they have someone to shit talk, right? Like this was kind of like the whole thing, like the OTK events. Nobody really knew what to talk about unless they could say, LOL, dick tone. This guy's a dick.
I understand what you're saying, but I feel like I think that we're retrospecting a lot. I don't think that they would have done that with Pirate Software because at that time, unless I'm missing anything, I don't think anybody really hated Pirate Software at that point. Like, I think people forget this, but Pirate Software was like universally loved by everybody. He was like the programmer guy, the hacker guy, the deep voice guy, and he did everything so cool, and he was so wholesome, and he had the ferrets running around all the time. I think it was that event where somebody first had a problem with him, and then I feel like his whole career spiraled from there.
There's another guy who was universally loved, who was universally shit talked on OnlyFangs once they started rating, and that was Lakari. Lucari was a universally loved streamer, great fucking guy, one of the best streamers on this platform, incredibly underrated. And
Lucari,
bro was.
I wouldn't say Lucari was definitely decently liked, but I feel like his content was a bit more. I'll say niche maybe, unless I missed a big thing.
He was just used as the butt of every single joke.
Yeah, but like Pirate Software was like the HackerCon guy who was respected across all of YouTube and gave takes on everything. And like I feel like Pirate Software had broad appeal and respect. And Lucari was like funny because sometimes he made like booba jokes and everything too, and was also like a streamer, but like he was like kind of like wacky crazy. I'm not shitting on Lucari, but I'm just saying like the Pirate Software had like this broad appeal and respect and everything, you know. And yeah, like you said,
he
like,
absolutely did. But like I feel like the moment that the internet smelled blood. And I want to make this very, like, think about this.
Mm-hmm.
This guy misplayed in World of Warcraft. This guy is the biggest piece of shit on earth. Like, that's a big gap to jump.
True. Although but then I think the issue is because of his response and people started digging into everything else and they started to find a whole bunch of other shit, then people were like, oh no.
Yeah.
Sort of like, fuck this really hard, yeah.
But like, the reason why that bothered me so much is that, you know, people say, well, I mean, it's because their accountability issue. Brother. Everybody else in that guild did the exact same thing. The one for one, the exact same thing. During Tyler 1, and he was leaving the Baron Geddon fight, and he said stay after he said leave, and nobody came back, and 23 fucking people died. Nobody said anything about those other streamers. Because, I'll be real, they had like fucking 50 fucking viewers. Right? But because Pirate Software got caught doing the same thing that everybody else was doing, he got way more shit. And unfortunately, that paired with his absolute refusal to ever take accountability, which, by the way, he fucked himself so hard. Because he could have just said, my bad.
I mean...
And the worst thing is he knows that, and he still won't do it.
Maybe Blizzard wouldn't have killed all those raiders if they would have used NordVPN promo code Don't Welch.
You know what's crazy? When I said that, I was like, he's going to make a joke about that. And I was like, yeah, there it is. You remind me of the people who I used to hang out with back in 2012, man. You a 4chaner? You ever use 4chan?
Nah.
I don't believe you.
A little bit on the VG boards.
I know
but that was like cancerous.
It's crazy how things change. You definitely are a /polar, man. You are.
No, definitely not. But like I've hung out like in peripheral communities and stuff. So.
Yeah, like what, Reddit?
Sometimes just abouts on the internet, you know.
Okay.
4chan was too spooky for me though. That's a scary place.
Yeah, I remember back in the Pain Olympics where they would show people like shoving scissors up their penises and then opening it and like severing that shit in half. And that one guy who shoved a jar up his ass and then he died.
Did he really die?
That's what I heard. I heard the jar and ass guy is dead. I don't know how you would live.
Well, I mean, it's just a little bit of jar in your ass, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, try it.
I mean, I figure that it probably wasn't his first time, right? Did he really do it on camera? First time? I feel like you should have at least practiced that. Damn.
Well. By the way, what rifles you got back there?
I have from a company called, I think it's Giesel or whatever, I have an AR-15, and then below that I've got a Benelli M4.
Are those your favorite guns?
Well, I mean, they're the ones that I own, so... I mean, I feel like everybody has an AR-15. I think the Benelli M4 is a really cool shotgun with cool history. I've got it's like the law enforcement edition, so I can do 7 rounds in the internal magazine. I like the shotgun for trap shooting. It's a Synergy Trap Classic from Browning. I think it's a cool shotgun. I want to get like a pistol caliber carbine or whatever. One of like the little, like a Vector or something, or an MP5 maybe. I don't know. I'll figure that out at some point.
Yeah. I would say I'm very happy with your friend Dan Saltman. And I think you have a very good friend in your life. And I hope that you treat Dan well in perpetuity, because I think he's a very good guy.
Dan's a cool dude, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that's one of the very rare content creators where I'm like, I think that he's genuinely a good guy with a good head on his shoulders and very helpful all the fucking time.
Do you think that because he is, or do you think that because he happens to attack the people that you don't like?
That also really helps. I'm not gonna lie. If you say Hassan's bad, I'm like, oh, I like this guy.
Okay. All right.
This guy's awesome. But no, he's also just been like very good, like off stream, just a very kind, courteous individual, like willing to help with whatever. He's just been a fucking good guy.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Why what?
You seem to doubt that Dan's a good guy.
No, I don't doubt at all. I think he's been my friend for like fucking 13 years, so I hope he is. Jesus.
I was going to say, you seem skeptical about that. He seemed very, very kind, and he also really wanted me to talk to you. So.
Oh yeah.
I think Dan wants you to have friends, man.
Yeah,
I think
maybe, yeah.
I think it's time to let go of all this hatred you have in your heart, man. I think it's time to give streamers a chance.
Well,
I think you should talk to
we
Kai
just
Cenat.
have to hope that the next natural disaster isn't in a conservative state, and we'll be okay. So.
You're such a fucking.
Wait, is Kai Cenat? Kai and Speed. Those guys are on other worlds. Those guys are gonna like fucking be the first streamers on Mars or some shit. Holy shit.
I also feel like that me and you are on very separate worlds, but maybe I'm becoming a little bit more in that space as time goes on.
Maybe.
Okay. Well, this was good, but I have to go play Dark Souls 2.
All right, have fun. Don't get one shot by enemies where there's 3 of the same boss. So.
I don't. Are you still streaming of this?
Yeah.
Okay, well, have fun. Thanks for being cool. I didn't see your chat at all. I really hope they were nice. I think my chat was good. There was a couple cuckstonies. Did you get any rape tones?
Oh no, I didn't. Is that a thing? Rape tone?
Yeah, people like to call me Rape Tone. It's always a fun one. And did they ask you to ask me about my dad? Did you get any of those?
No, it's usually people want to scream about political positions, but I'm trying to behave myself right now, so.
Cool. Well, this was cool, man. Yeah. I hope you have a wonderful stream, and thanks for talking.
Yeah, no problem. Have fun. Be careful.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. Okay. We survived, all right?